For a moment, it's a good thing I realized the mic wasn't working. What's up, guys? It has been an interesting week, to say the least. All I know, guys, is that I'm starting to stream a little earlier than usual because I've got somewhere to be at around 5:30-ish. All I know is stream will be over at around 5 because I've got some important business to tend to, and I'm not going to disclose any personal details, but there's been some tough times in my family, to say the least. So, yeah, stream is not going to last as... Why am I hearing the playback? Oh, it's because... Duh, that's why. But alright, guys. Stream hopefully will not go the usual 4 hours and whatnot. At best, it's going to go 3 because at around 5:30, I got to head out. I got somewhere to be. And it's really important. Let me put it this way. It's really important to my family that I show up there. But alright, what's up, guys? Hello, Night Fury. Good to see you again. Hello, Nitro. Hello. Okay. First person who chatted, you're gonna have to let me know how to pronounce that because I am at an impasse with how to pronounce your name, man. Anyways, just like last week, guys. Like I said last week, before my internet started going all crazy, it turns out, yeah, so far we are what, 5 minutes into the stream and 6 minutes actually. Stream hasn't crashed once. Yep, turns out I just had to replace the Ethernet cord, and that's that. So, a citizen on YouTube. Hello, welcome to the stream. Here we are, guys. Continuing, well, not continuing where we left off because I got to start from scratch because I don't remember what. Okay, I remember where we left off, but at the same time, okay, is it just me or is the music a little too loud? You know, it's probably just too loud on my end. But, anyways, last we left off, I think we were at, where did we leave off? Okay, we ranked, I want to say about 25% of the episodes, maybe 20% of all the episodes. All I remember is that the last episode we ranked before the stream crashed last Sunday was Resident Upheaval, but like an idiot, I deleted the VOD because I was too annoyed at the fact that we had so many technical issues, so I don't remember exactly what we ranked and what we didn't. So, I think we're just gonna take it from the top. Am I using that term right? Okay, like I've said before, guys, English is my second language, so I don't know, guys. It's been a rough week, so pardon me if I'm a little unfocused, to say the least. Which is good. Amphibia, the Owl House, or both? Just Amphibia. I have little to no respect for the Owl House. Sometimes I can appreciate the messaging, but most of the time, yikes. Especially the first season. But we're not here for that today. For now, I just wanna rank it in peace. And how many people are in chat? 6 people? You know what, guys? Do me a favor. Hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. Ugh. I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm a little unfocused today. A lot has gone down in the past week, but by the end of next week, hopefully things will be better. I can't guarantee that there will be a stream tomorrow because, well, you guys will know soon enough. All I know is I can't guarantee a stream tomorrow. It's more than likely, but we'll have to wait and see, because you know what? I can't disclose it because I know some of my family members watch stream, and I want to keep this a secret from them, so that's that, guys. Let's get to the tier list. Okay, now the music is a little too quiet. Is it just me? I guess it's just my... Oh my gosh. Had to turn off my ad block to be able to listen to the music, and then I'm turning... my goodness, man. Freaking YouTube. Never should have found the means to circumvent the ad block, because this is getting ridiculous. But alright, guys. You know what? Let's give it a few minutes before we start the rankings again. Okay, but let's try to work with what I actually remember from last week. Schooled, I believe... Okay, first of all, how did we rank these again? Highest rank was solid. The second rank was neat. Here, did we say alright or did we say meh? You know what? It's season 5 of the Loud House. The bar is actually really low, so I'm gonna say meh. I remember the bottom two being Yikes and Dog Water. Oh my goodness, speaking of water, I could really use some right now, but sorry guys, again, a lot has gone down this past week, to say the least. Hopefully YouTube doesn't become janky again. I think it was an issue on my end. I think YouTube was fine. It was just an issue, like I said, all I had to do was replace my 5-year-old Ethernet cord, and so far, I'd say we're good, but let's see. We are Yeah, we are exactly 10 minutes into the stream and not a single frame drop, so I don't want to jinx it, but I want to say that's a good sign so far. But alright, where did we leave off? Schooled? We said enough about it. I think I gave it a low yikes. Boss maybe? I don't remember. Like an idiot, I deleted the VOD from last week because I was so annoyed with all the crashes that I didn't even want to look at the VOD. But anyways. The boss, maybe. How did we rank this? Lori's gone, Lenny has to babysit, shenanigans ensue, I don't know. Oh my goodness, I really wish I had the VOD from last week because I'm telling you guys. 50 hours of work in 5 days. A lot of stuff going down in my personal life. Like, please pardon me if my memory's a little flimsy. You know what? That's what I get for being in my 20s. That's what I get for being an adult, I guess. Your favorite Loud House character is Stella, also. You've been watching since 2016, and now you're planning for college. A citizen on YouTube, my guy. If my memory serves correctly, you are my most recent public subscriber, so either you're lying to me or I'm missing something. You know what? Before I make any accusations, let me double check. Because keep in mind, guys, I can more or less monitor. I can more or less keep track of my public subscribers and whatnot, so I can tell when some people are messing with me. I don't mean to be too cynical, but that's just usually how it is. Yeah, you are a citizen on YouTube. You are my latest public subscriber, man. So, were you watching this whole time unsubscribed? Because that would be genuinely shocking. But, you know, I'll just take your word for it. Yeah, guys. If you're trying to gain, there are better ways to gain favor with me. I'm not gonna say anything here, but there are better ways to gain favor with me. But alright, you know what? Let's give it a few more minutes before. You know what? I don't know, guys. I am so indecisive and unfocused today. It's been a rough week, and the fact that we should have done this last week, but then my internet started crashing on me is genuinely disheartening, especially because I'm pretty sure we reached like peak viewership with that last VOD before I started crashing like crazy. Yeah, Erica. Everything should be good now. Enigma, hello. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Tracy. Welcome to the stream. Okay, people are jumping in like crazy. You know what? I'm not complaining, but what's up, guys? Alright. Boss, maybe. I don't remember where we ranked this. I want to say a low meh? Or a high yikes? I don't remember enough about it. Some people said it was fine, some people said it was iffy, but in my opinion, yeah, I think it was just a meh. Yeah, there was like 23, 24, 27 viewers. I just remember there being a 2 in the first digit. Honestly, the fact that I had to end stream despite the overwhelming success, it is genuinely so disheartening. Empty Bottles, hello, welcome to the stream. Watched my tier list over the last 2 days, and I do like your takes and reason. Thank you, Enigma. I try to think about it. I try to put genuine thought into it. I try to be impartial, and it's not just my opinion, more or less. It's more or less the collective opinion of this whole chat room. But anyways. If I remember correctly, guys, we placed this at low mess, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Family bonding? Like I said time and again, most of the David Steele episodes, easy dog water or a low yikes at best. I don't remember this changing. But alright. Wait a minute. Is this not in... Okay, it's bottom to top chronological release order. Or it's just out of order completely. You know, what else did we rank that I remember? We did rank Cowpie Kid. Some of you were kind of iffy on it, but in my opinion, all the episodes with Lynn and Liam, I thought they were really solid, so I'm gonna give this a neat. And you know what? I would give my reasons why, but we more or less already discussed this last week, but then again, the VOD is gone, so... You know what? Just go watch my best episodes video. You're gonna find it there eventually. It's around, I want to say the hour and 5-minute mark? I don't know. Don't quote me on it. Hello, John. Welcome to the stream, and thank you for the boba. I could use a really nice drink right now. Where's my thermos? Where the heck did I leave my thermos? Okay, it's right behind me, right underneath my chair, because I don't got room on my desk for it. Hopefully that'll change soon, though. Can you guys hear the music well enough, along with my voice? Like, what is the voice to music ratio? Is it balanced enough? I don't know how better to explain it, guys. I just want your ears to be comfortable as you're listening to my voice for the next, what, 3 hours or so? Huh. Liam and Linship, I am intrigued letting you cook on that. I mean, is it just me? Is it really just me? I mean, is it really just me that sees the kinship between Lynn and Liam? And that maybe it should be like, yeah, sure, there's a 2-year age gap, but that's really the only excuse I can think of. Music and voice tone is fine to me. Okay, good. Thank you, Enigma. But seriously, after all that time, like, if y'all remember, what was that episode called from season 4? I don't know, the one where all of Lynn's teammates get dates and she's alone. She forces her way into being someone's girlfriend. She gets so distracted and caught up with her over-competitive nature. Like, I don't know. Everything that happened with Dexter, for better or worse, the opposite happened with Liam. If you just think about it, like I said last week. So, I don't know. I really wish they pushed it further, but they said, fuck it. Let's just pair it with this random European boy. Tell me if there are any good Lola episodes in season 5? Technically, but it's more so a Lucy episode, but we'll get to it when the time comes. Singled Out. Thank you, Enigma. That's the one. I don't know how I forgot the name. You're the guy who somewhat likes the show and doesn't like Sam? That's me. Guilty as charged, empty bottles, more or less. But alright, okay, I don't know what order I place these screenshots more or less, but what else did we already rank from last week? Okay, we ranked Resident Upheaval. We said, like I said, I think, I don't know, I don't remember exactly what I said last week, guys, but from what I remember, do I think Lincoln is close enough with Myrtle that he goes through all this trouble to get her a room in the retirement home? Not really. Like, I don't know. Like, it's nice to see Lincoln and Clyde being at odds with each other, but this kind of scenario is just boring. Them impersonating their grandmas, trying to win a room, like, nah. Like, nah. I'm gonna give it a high yice, just cause, I don't know. They want to play Henrik as a serious love interest for Lynn, and while that's fine, Liam does have actual chemistry and a dynamic with her in 2 episodes, yeah. Shame they completely forgot about it. Look, from what I've heard, the next time we see Henrik again, Lynn just straight up says, I'm not ready. I don't want, like, I don't know. Okay, guys, don't spoil the whole episode for me. I've seen a couple tidbits leaked here on Twitter here and there. But from what I know, apparently Lynn just wants to be friends with him for whatever reason. And the fact of the matter is, I'm not really going to know for sure until, like, what? Late November or in December when Just Snow With It airs here in Mexico. Only time will tell, though. Oh, hi, Jesse. Welcome to the stream. Season 5, the season that feels completely different? Yeah. Mostly in not very positive ways. But alright, let's see. Training day. Stella gets a pet bunny. He has a lot of trouble, and you'd think it'd be a Stella-centered episode, but no. She leaves the bunny training to Lana, which it makes sense more or less. But I don't know. Like the twist is basically Lana really struggles with keeping this bunny in check, and then it turns out the bunny is a twin. And once they're reunited, the bunny is good again. Like, I don't know. I get that it's an innocent animal, and it's kind of like, but I don't know, the bunny's behavior is just so dickish, even for someone missing their twin. Like, I don't know. Like, have we ever seen Lana behave in any like, they try to make this whole metaphor between the bunnies and Lola and Lana about how, hey, without my twin, I feel like I'm nothing. My twin means a lot to me, but I don't know. The parallel is not, it doesn't match well enough to the point where it's compelling, but even then, this is not a bad episode. Even if nothing crazy happened, like, I don't know. I like the idea presented, and so I'm gonna give it a meh. The season that shattered any goodwill that was left? Yeah, more or less. Average relationship building from the Loud House writers, honestly. With a couple. I guess Lori, like, I don't know. What's the general consensus between Lori and Bobby and Luann and Lenny? Luann and Benny. I mean, Luann and Lenny. Oh gosh, no. I do not encourage or condone loudcest in any capacity. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. What's the general consensus with Lori and Bobby and Luann and Benny, or Luanny as they call it. Personally, I have a soft spot for Luann and Benny, and Lori and Bobby could be a little better, but it's acceptable, to say the least. Alright. Friday Night Fights. Lynn is struggling with her football team. She gets Lisa to take care of, like, statistics and whatnot. Then Lisa starts replacing all of her teammates with a bunch of more competent players that Lynn is not acquainted with, and it goes about how you would expect. Lynn doesn't get along with the new players, the team still loses anyways. Lisa realizes the importance of having a connection with your teammates, so to speak. I don't know, the messaging is redundant, it doesn't have a lot of funny moments, so... And honestly, it's not a very memorable episode from what I remember. Just a typical, hey, appreciate your friends kind of lesson. Lynn already learned that in Net Gains, and that episode was already forgettable as is. Lisa already learned that lesson through Darcy, like 3 seasons ago, now that I think about it. So... Nick put the Loud House on hiatus in America in favor of the Boss Baby. Wait, what? Like the Boss Baby series? Wasn't that like a Netflix exclusive? Okay, oh my gosh. I don't know what's going on. I like Lori and Bobby because Bobby is epic and Lori is funny when she says literally. That's the thing though, most people are genuinely fed up with Lori saying literally. I think even the show itself. Like there's been a handful of occasions where some character in the show is like, can you stop saying literally when it doesn't make any sense? Like honestly, it is genuinely baffling how the Boss Baby manages to be successful in any capacity. First movie should have bombed. Alec Baldwin, we know how much of an asshole he is in the industry. I genuinely bothers me that a movie starring him manages to be so successful. Like the premise is just, sorry for the chair creaking, guys. I'm just trying to get adjusted here. Like the premise is dumb, the ideas are dumb, it's not funny, every now and again it's gross or questionable. And you mean to tell me they got a whole ass TV series, Nickelodeon is and now Nickelodeon is prioritizing it, it got a sequel? Like bro, from the fact that this franchise, if I can even call it that in good conscience, is from the same studio that gave us The Prince of Egypt, one of the greatest animated films of all time. Like, what a contrast in quality in the span of, like, what, 20 years? When did the first one drop? I want to say 2019? You know what? Doesn't matter. New Luann and Benny episodes can replace all the Flip episodes. To this day, I still don't understand why Flip has so many episodes. Disgusting character, no redeemable qualities. He only does stuff for the glory or the attention. Like I've said time and again, imagine Mr. Krabs if he owned a convenience store instead of a restaurant and remove all the charm, remove all the likability, and don't make him funny. That's basically Flip. Alright. Friday Night Fights has one really funny moment that save it. Well, the Oscar, I can't remember for the life of me, so what does that tell you? If you can bring it up and explain why it's funny, okay, you don't have to, but from what I remember, there's nothing too crazy about it. Universal Kids shut down, so we will probably see DreamWorks show on other networks or not. It depends. That's weird because here in Mexico, DreamWorks has its own channel. So what the heck is going on in the United States that Mexico is being more resourceful? You know what? I don't need to get into it. Welcome to DreamWorks, basically. You can pick either Shrek, The Last Wish, Shark Tale, or Over the Hedge. Honestly, I'd take The Last Wish. Last Wish is kind of goated, which is saying something for... When did it drop? 2022? Like, honestly, it should have won the Oscar. No disrespect to Guillermo del Toro or or Netflix's Pinocchio, but The Last Wish should have won the Oscar for Best Animated Film. Like, what a complete upgrade from the first Puss in Boots. Not that the first one was bad by any means, but... God, The Last Wish was so good in so many ways, man. The details, the story, the characters... Like, imagine for once DreamWorks has a comic relief character, and he doesn't come off as a complete pain in the ass. Like Perrito, or Perrito as some people call him, from Puss in Boots. Would I say, if I were to make an tier list of comic reliefs in Disney and DreamWorks film, Perrito would probably be S tier. Like, it's crazy how he did not come off as overbearing or annoying in any capacity. But alright. Kernel of Truth, I'm pretty sure we discussed this last week. The Action News team, charming idea. Like, the plot is engaging, the characters, you know what? It gives a legitimate and organic excuse for having episodes revolving around Lincoln and his friend group, which to this day doesn't really have an official name. Like, not even in canon. The part where the robot punches Paula, save Friday Night Fights for me, it's just so unexpected. Wait, have I ranked it yet? Where did it go? Oh, I left it here. You know what? I'll think about it, Oscar. I'll think about it. I think the last time, from what I can remember anyways, Nickelodeon had any DreamWorks show on their network was Monsters vs. Aliens. Yeah, how'd that play out, Jesse? Didn't it get canceled after, like, what, one season? I will give credit, though. Look, Penguins of Madagascar and Kung Fu Panda Legends of Awesomeness, I actually really enjoyed it. Maybe it's because I was a kid, more or less a teenager at the time, but even then, it never came off as problematic in any capacity. Tales were in season 5. Like, the Penguins of Madagascar, I would say, hot take, but I'd probably say it's an S-tier Nickelodeon show. Obviously not on par with, like, Avatar or the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob, but I'd say it's up there. I'd say, like, if I were to make a tier list of Nickelodeon shows, it'd be like a high A or a low S. Yes, Windows, I'm very well aware of my virus protection. Thank you for telling me. I don't know. For now, Oscar, we're gonna place it in a low meh, but that might change. You know what? No. Hi, yikes. Alright. Blinded by Science. Pretty sure we talked about this last week. Lisa presents Flip to her colleagues. Apparently he hasn't, like, why did this... Again, another episode that for some reason revolved around Flip. I remember someone in chat saying a better anomaly would have been, like, Lincoln's white hair. Lincoln's the one getting kidnapped and whatnot. Lisa has to rescue him. And then somebody suggested maybe Stella should have tagged along. Like, I will say this. If there's any one of Lincoln's friends that should have a dynamic with any of the Loud Sister, it should have been Stella, and Lisa seems like a perfect match. We know how tech savvy is Stella. If you've read the comics, that's built upon even further. Like, I don't know. There's just so much potential in there that they never explored, but what can I say that hasn't already been said? I love TMNT 2013. Yeah, from what I heard, it's actually really solid. No pun intended. No pun intended. Yeah, wait, didn't it drop in 2012? You know what? Semantics. Who cares? That's a cold take. Everyone likes the Penguins of Madagascar, and the shore is very well liked. I mean, I never said it was a hot take. I just said I really liked it. Wait, why'd the music stop? Did I not shuffle it? Okay. Like, what the heck happened to the rest of the... Okay, I don't know what's going on, but let's see. Anyways. Plopping Flip into almost every episode. Is this really where it began? Like in season 5? Like, you can just tell these writers were out of ideas. Like, the theory... I don't know if it's a theory or some sort of conjecture just based on available information, but from what people told me, if Savino was still in charge, he would have ended around season 4 or season 5. So yeah, this is the season where you can tell they're really starting to run out of ideas. Imagine if in this Mario Galaxy movie, what happened to Junior's mom is explained like how they explain what happened to Mr. Puff. You mean turned into a literal... Oh gosh, can I even describe it without getting demonetized? Like, I don't know, do we... Like, Mario is the kind of franchise that's too simplistic to where... In certain ways, it's too simplistic to the point where we don't need every bit of lore. Know what I mean? Like, do we really need the origins of Bowser Jr.'s mother? Like, for all we know, Bowser is asexual and he laid an egg. There. There's his mother. There is none. Anyways. Yeah, somebody said in chat, could have had Lisa, Stella, and Clyde rescue Lincoln from the evil scientist. Yeah. The scientist isn't trying to launch Lincoln into space without a spacesuit, but is rather trying to dissect him. Yeah. Something like that. Like, I don't know. Like, Stella just has so much wasted potential. I mean, not exactly wasted. I mean, I don't know how much longer the show's gonna go on for, but they can still utilize her in so many meaningful ways. Like that fanfic we've been reading on stream, guys. 0 fleshed out relationship, 0 character development, and 7 episodes of Flip per season. That's really been the case since like what, season 5, there's been a handful of times where there's genuine development, there's good messaging, but most of the time, who gives a shit, man? Like, how would I, you don't know how I would describe the Loud House in 2025? Like the more recent episodes? The Italians have a term for this. And thanks to, what are those guys' names? Lionfield? Mappazzone is an Italian informal term for a messy, unappetizing, and indigestible dish. Okay, hold on. Where was that definition that I saw a while back? An exact, let's see. A mesh of a dish, a mix of unrelated ingredients, very heavy to digest, less than palatable. You know what? That describes it well enough. The Loud House in 2025? It's the animation equivalent of a mappazzone. That's it. I cannot think of a better way to describe it. Just a mishmash of ideas with no discernible character. It's unappetizing and... yeah, what can I say that hasn't already been said? Like, yeah, it would have been nice to look into the origins of Lincoln's hair with Night Fury. Like, did he get it from his grandpa? Did his grandpa always have white hair, even before he got old? Like, they could have answered so many good questions with that kind of idea, but... yeah, apparently from what I heard, Season 9 is going to have a Stella episode, but I'm not getting my hopes up. Like, it's basically that one Hawkeye meme from Avengers Endgame. Don't do that. Don't give me hope. Any here watch Fant Four Stick? From what I heard, it was pretty awful. I haven't seen First Steps. I heard from people it was fine, but nothing too crazy, and... just like with the Loud House guys, nowadays I don't have a lot of hope for the MCU. Just cause Doomsday's production has been so cluttered, unorganized, and just so scuffed, more or less. Yeah, there are so many reasons why the Loud House is a laughingstock in the animation community, more or less. Yeah, Fant Four Stick is awful. Made for decent memes here and there, but it's still by far the worst Fantastic Four movie, and I'm counting the one from the 70s. But alright, Ghosted. We talked about this last week, didn't we? Hello, Boot. Welcome to the stream. It's really nice to see you again. Like I said, the premise is forced. Did not need to be a half-hour long. Okay, so here's how it went down. Lori's minding her own business on campus. She gets harassed by a ghost. She gets Lincoln and Clyde to get rid of him. Then it turns out the ghost is a university icon who helps pro golfers, so she has to bring him back. She consults Lucy. She makes amends with the ghost. But considering that she's an alumni at the university, how did she not know about it? How is she just finding out about it until after she got rid of it? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Honestly, would I say this is their worst Halloween special, if it even counts as one? Probably. I am here with dinner. Oh, right, Boo. You keep forgetting. Some people live on the East Coast, some people live in other parts of the world. But yeah, as far as here is concerned, it's only 2:30. But like I said at the beginning of the stream, guys, at around 5:10, I definitely gotta head out. Cause I got some personal issues to attend to. Alright. Farm to Unstable. Liam. I forgot what the premise. I forgot what the what was the day? Hold on. Bro, the fact that Google's engine recommends me the episode just by typing the title without any additional context, it really says a lot about my habits. Rusty up. Like, I forgot. Liam needs help at the farm. All the kids volunteer. They struggle with it at first, so they take shortcuts, and then Liam's business falls apart because they kept cheating with all of Flip's merchandise. Like, I don't know. Let's see. What was the term for... farm sale. Farm sale. You know what? Yeah, let's just call it a farm sale. Basically, farm sale is like at the end of the week. Liam needs help because his grandma's incapacitated. His dad and his brother are absent for whatever reason, so all of his friends volunteer to help him out. They struggle with it at first. They take shortcuts. They take shortcuts by buying stuff from Flip, and obviously that doesn't go well because we know how much of a cheapskate Flip is. They fess up. They spend a whole night making up the difference. Like, I don't know. It has a couple funny moments, like that one moment where Lincoln talks to the cow, and the cow kicks a bucket in his face and he gets shoved into it. Like, I don't know. That moment was really funny. Let me see if I can find it. Hello, Coolcoin. We did not finish it because about a quarter into the tier list, Coolcoin, I started having a lot of internet issues last Sunday, so we're continuing where we left off today. I can't wait to see your season tier list after season 6 tier list. I wonder where you're gonna put Taunting Hour. That's the thing, though. When I was making my worst episodes video, a lot of people telling me, "Where's Taunting Hour? Taunting Hour is so bad." Like, the more I thought about it, yeah, I kind of overlooked it a little too much. Like, it's definitely a bad episode, but honestly, guys, I'll probably give it a rewatch tonight. No, wait, I just canceled my Paramount Plus subscription because I didn't think I'd need it anymore. You know what? For all I know, you know what? Let's see if it's available. You know what? This should about cover it, but I don't know. I gotta rewatch that episode before I jump to any conclusion. But from what people have told me, it's one of the worst episodes in the franchise. Like, it's crazy that I managed to overlook it the entire time I was making my worst episodes video. And keep in mind, guys, that video is almost a half hour long. So the fact that I overlooked that episode, the fact that in the month and a half that I was working on that video, the fact that I managed to overlook such a notoriously infamous episode is genuinely surprising to me. Like, honestly, that might just make a whole video in of itself, but I gotta rewatch it first before I jump the gun. Despite her lacking any... Wait, what do you mean? Superstar? Hold on. Watching the part of your vid where you talked about Sam, I remember I had like an L from Death Note moment, trying to watch all of her appearances, including Listen Out Loud in the comics as well. Yeah. Trust me, before I started talking shit about Sam, like, as I was watching all the episodes revolving around her, I thought to myself, is it just me, or does this girl just not have any personality? And then I was like, you know what, maybe I'm being too presumptuous. Let's look into everything. Let's look into the comics, let's look into the podcast, let's look into all of her appearances. And I still found nothing. Like, in a good chunk of her appearances in the comics, you could straight up wipe her from the whole segment and you wouldn't miss a thing. Like that one comic segment where Luna wants to perform a song at the retirement home for Pop Pop and Myrtle. Like, Sam is helping in the whole process, and then I realized she doesn't need Sam for this. She really doesn't. Like, nowadays, you could remove Sam from the Moon Goat. Like, if it was just Luna, Mazzy, and Sully, you wouldn't miss a thing. You straight up would not miss a thing. Like, that's how irrelevant the whole character is, and honestly, I was really surprised when I came to that realization. Despite her lacking any personality, it's odd how she has a deception streak. Like in the comic, not telling Luna how their guitar picks are in the same cases, or yeah. Like, why wouldn't she tell you that? Why would... What makes her think that just... Is it customary for lack of a better term, for lesbians to trade lesbian guitar players to trade picks and keep them in their cases? Like, that whole segment made no freaking sense, man. And you know what? If I make any conjectures, I'm just gonna be labeled a homophobe, so I'm gonna shut up. Like, but yeah, that made no sense. It does make me wonder why they never leaned into that. Making her shifty and someone who lies a lot despite actually loving Luna or something, that would just... I would still dislike the character, but... honest, would that really be an interesting personality to work off of? Especially in the long term? I don't think so. It would make her more interesting, but not likable. I don't do streaming services because I can't afford it? Yeah, I don't blame you, Boo. Speaking of Lincoln and Stella, I made an AU for the Stella ship that is a retelling of The Incredibles with Stella as Mrs. Incredible. Night Fury, man. I'm gonna be real with you, man. You know what? This is nothing against you, man, but the realm of fanfiction, like 99% of it, especially with this cartoon, it definitely loses me on most fronts. I mean, I'll try to humor it, but we'll see. Is there another show, movie, or book you really like to talk about? Phineas and Ferb. Like, I've been like I told, what was his name, Nick? I've been working on a video talking about those creepy episodes with the living Candace suit. And the script for is for the most part done, but I'm gonna hold on to it until October just to complement Halloween season, just so I can have something ready for Halloween season. Like, that's really my only reason I haven't made any more Phineas and Ferb videos, but I definitely do want to talk about it more, especially as more of season 5 keeps dropping. But I think a good chunk of it is not gonna drop until next year. We'll have to wait and see. Basically, the taunting hour thinks that bullying and criticism are the same thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, for some, like, okay, so I do remember how it went down. Lynn is playing a baseball game. Scoots is making fun of her. And then, as a result, Lynn gets so distracted and pent up to the point where she loses. So, Lincoln tries to help her to shrug off all the haters, because it turns out, shrug off her critics, because all of a good chunk of the Loud siblings also have their own critics. Lola has a pageant judge. Luna, the burnt bean manager, doesn't really like her music, but she keeps letting them perform. And then they all get mad because all of their criticisms are getting to their heads, and they all blame Lincoln for it for whatever reason. Then it turns out Lincoln has his own critics. Like, I think the moral of the episode should have been something along the lines of, when they're being this petty with their criticisms and whatnot, they're not worth taking seriously. But for some reason, they turn it into a whole, oh, shrug off the haters. Oh, who cares what they think? Like, I don't know. I'll go into it when I can. But that's the gist of it. Like, there's definitely a lot of ideas that bother me. But unlike most people, not really to the point where I thought much. I gave the episode much thought. Like, it just felt like a run-of-the-mill mid-episode, but the more I think about it, I want to understand why people dislike it so much, so I'll look into it when I can. Yeah, Chandler's not a critic, he's a bully. Okay, Boo, you might be onto something. I guess in some ways, Lincoln's sisters are his critics, more or less. There are plenty of deceptive characters who are well-loved? Like who? In what sense? Like in the Loud House, or just in general? Like, okay, you know what, in general, yeah, I can definitely think of a few, like Grunkle Stan. Like, at the very least, he has his reasons for being slimy in his marketing tactics and whatnot, but as far as the Loud House is concerned, I can't think of any off the top of my head. But alright, Farm to Unstable. Nothing too crazy, but it had a couple funny moments, and you know what? It's a nice gesture for Lincoln and his friends to volunteer to help at the farm. Rusty has this whole dynamic with Liam's grandma. Like, I don't know, it's a bit of wasted potential, but it has a couple laughs. It's a charming idea, but honestly, the plot is a little too predictable. Like, yeah, farm work doesn't come easy, they take shortcuts, it backfires, they own up to it, so I'm gonna give it a high meh, to say the least. Alright, in the nick of time, easy dog water. And surprisingly, most of my reasons for it have little to nothing to do with Sam. So here's how it went down. Luna's talking about her interactions with Mick Swagger, 2 anecdotes basically, with her band. And then Lenny's like, oh, Luna, we don't have a performer for the school dance or whatever. And then all of her bandmates, like idiots, they're like, Luna, you can get this international rock star to perform at this local high school. Like, bro, like, and keep in mind, it was Sam's idea. And for some reason, they're all like, oh, you can get Mick. You've only spoken to him twice. You don't have his phone number or anything, but sure, you could probably get him to perform at this school. Like, get Mick. And then Luna goes to a concert, and then conveniently by the end, like, I don't know. This episode is just a giant mess of ideas, and I feel like, nah. In some capacities, I can blame the stupidity of Sam for whatever it's worth. And when you take that into account, like, honestly, Sam never came off as an idiot. So I don't know what they're doing with her character here, but it was really stupid of her to suggest that she could get Mick to perform at the dance. Like, it's just, I don't know. A lot of ideas really bother me about it, and you know what? Video Me actually explained it better than I ever could right now. So you know what? Let's turn to me. Let's turn to him. The real question is, where did I leave it? You guys can hear it well enough, right? You know, I'm just gonna raise the volume just to be safe. It's somewhere in my dishonorable mentions, but let's see. Screw real chemistry, though. Let's pair it with this random European boy. It makes just as much sense that she forgets her newfound boyfriend exists and she only started dating him to spare her. It would have been really endearing to see Margot show some empathy and reflect her development from what happened to her, scholarship and her future, her mom, and is left unpunished. I really wish I had timestamps for the dishonorable mentions. Okay, here we go. Sometimes it gets done in the nick of time. Congrats, Sam. I finally can't blame you for the problems of an episode you're involved in. But they're still there. 2 interactions later, and suddenly everyone thinks Luna can get this international rock star to... Okay, is it just me, or am I speaking way too quickly in this video? Do I speak way too quickly in general? Perform at a local high school. She didn't leave out any details in the stories, but somehow everyone thinks she could pull this off without issues. No phone number, no backstage pass to his upcoming concert, and no real means to contact him in general. Yet here we are. Not that I doubt he wouldn't have agreed to do it, because of course he did. But half the plot would be gone if Luna had just never agreed to something she knew she couldn't guarantee. It's really that simple. Just one out-of-character gesture, and suddenly you got half of a poorly written plot. My God. Yeah, okay, you know what, Oscar, you might be onto something. Maybe dog water might be a little too harsh. So yeah, if I'm trying to be impartial, yeah, I'd say a low yikes. Yeah, dog water might be a little too harsh. It's not a well-written episode. A lot of the ideals feel contrived. Like, Luna can't get Mick to perform at the school, so she impersonates himself and tells him that she did it. Like, I don't know. Like, you would think peer pressure boot, but at the same time, I think Luna is smart enough to understand that she can't possibly pull it off. Like, yeah, you interacted with him twice, he gave you some good advice, but you're not really on speaking terms with him. So why would she... Yeah, peer pressure. That's really it. But even then, after all Luna has been through, I think she has enough confidence to the point where she wouldn't cave in like that. At least out of all the Loud sisters. Like, out of, say... Out of all the Loud sisters, who would give in the easiest to peer pressure? Okay, Lenny, I understand, because she's done it before. But you know what? I'm fixating a little too much. Alright. Fam scam. Lola meets a pageant celebrity, and then she pretends to be a McBride in hopes of giving her a good impression, and she pretends that none of the Louds are associated with her, because obviously she's embarrassed of all the chaos that happens in her house, so... Like, I don't know, it's a really predictable liar reveal cliche, but at the same time, it has a couple funny moments, it's relatively memorable, and would I say it has enough for it to stand out? Despite how cliche the idea of a liar revealed plot it is. You were in the heat of the moment in the video, so I can't blame you if it seemed like you were speaking fast. You know what, you're right. Like, I don't know, guys, that worst episodes video, like, keep in mind, I work 10 hours every weekday. I cannot work on it through the weekdays, so I basically spent 2 months worth of weekends working on it. Also, all of my 2 full weeks of holiday vacations. Every day, got up, pulled up my laptop, and kept editing. Like, I don't know. Like, that far into the video, I can definitely understand how or why I was so overwhelmed with just getting it over with, more or less. Is this a season they announced a Really Loud House? So, did some of the writers work on season 5? Was it? You know what? Let's see. Really Loud House? That is not a sitcom. Bro, that is a lousy excuse of a sitcom, man. November 3rd, 2022. No, this season was, you know what, let's see. November 3rd, 2022, September, okay, they're about 2 years apart, so, yeah, probably not Tails, by the looks of it. But alright, I know the feeling. I had 2 jaws before. Oh my goodness, ugh, I do not wish that on even my worst enemies. Actually, some of them I will. They deserve no better. But alright, what were we saying? Okay, we were talking about In the Nick of Time. And then we went to... I don't know where we went. Alright, Blinded by Science. I forgot to place it. But from what I remember, we agreed dog water, right? I don't know. I feel like that might be... Nah, yeah. I don't know. Just for being a flip episode, I probably gotta give it dog water. You know what? Would that be too biased? Fam Scam is the textbook average Loud House episode. The premise would make a great season 1 episode, but in season 5 it just falls flat. Yeah, I guess. in some capacities. Like, even with, I don't know, more or less people, like anything that reminds me of the classic episodes, like seasons 1 through 3, I can't hate it too much for the most part, but at the same time, it's just a typical lie revealed subplot. Like what was her name? Cricket. She starts catching on too much. Lola eventually fesses up. Cricket forgives her. Lola tells her the truth. And it turns out Cricket really likes the chaos of the Loud House, and then we basically never see her again. I don't know. Would this be I think this is the first time we're ever getting a mid or neat Lola episode. A Lola episode that isn't S tier. You know what, we more or less done more than now that I think about it. But alright, moving on. If it was a 2-year gap, the show would have been early in production. Yeah, it more or less would still be in the drafts. For whatever, which makes you wonder, what the heck were they doing? If it really was in the drafts at that time, you had 2 years to plan this whole thing with all the money from Nickelodeon, and you still got, would I say, the worst show Nickelodeon has ever produced? Neither animated or live action? I don't know. Maybe if it was a little funny, or if it was Melly instead of Cricket. Honestly, with Melly, it definitely would have been interesting. Like, Melly wanted to have a sleepover with Lola, and then her getting too scared because the family's too chaotic, and then Lola trying to convince them to tone it down because she knows how emotionally fragile Melly is. That would have been so much better. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. What a waste of potential. Okay, Oscar, you were cooking, man. Oh my gosh. Switch Cricket for Melly and you actually have something really good. Completion over quality? Yeah, Nick, you're right. You're right. Like, this is the point where, like I said, this show feels so botched and passionless to the point where it feels botched and passionless because there is no passion for the show anymore. Just quotas to fulfill. But alright, she's all that. Apparently, Lucy needs to recruit one more member into her Morticians Club. She mentions it casually to Lola in the hopes that she doesn't join, but then it turns out Lola wants to join. She loves it. She gets along with all of the club members except for Lucy. Lucy gets a little jealous. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've seen this plotline a little too much before, but not to a point where it's actually a well-known trope, like, say, liar reveal cliche, like we were discussing earlier. So, I don't know. It has a couple funny moments. Like, it explores a bond we don't see often between two Loud sisters. Like, when's the last time we got an episode revolving around Lucy and Lola? I think never, the more I think about it. So, you know what? It's either a low neat or a high meh. I don't know. What do you guys think? You actually like that episode? You did improve later, in your opinion? In some capacities, like I've said, guys, a couple episodes of Season 8, maybe a couple episodes in Season 7, I actually did like. But for the most part, like, I don't know, the quality is so inconsistent, but for the most part, it's definitely below average. What do I think is the worst Fairly Odd Parents? What do you think is worse, Fairly Odd Parents Season 10 or this season of The Loud House? I don't know any Fairly Odd Parents episodes past from Season 10 off the top of my head. I can't remember any episodes, so let's see. Chances are, okay, keep in mind, guys, I have not watched Fairly Odd Parents. It's got the same problem as SpongeBob. Like, I've only seen the classic episodes, and most of the modern episodes, I haven't seen them, or they're just... they're really forgettable anyways. Whistle Me This, May or May Not, Girly Squirrely. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of these episodes. Random Doctors. Can I just call you Random Doctor? Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of these episodes, and... well, with Fairly Odd Parents, it's got the same stigma as modern SpongeBob. First couple seasons, goated. After that, yikes. The last episode where Lucy and Lola were in the episode was when Lola borrowed Lucy... oh, right, the Tea-Tail Heart. That's still a really good episode. But even then, that was like, what, 2 seasons ago? And keep in mind, guys, there's 26 episodes per season. So... I don't know. You know what? This really doesn't contribute to the doesn't mean anything as far as the quality of She's All That is concerned. So, yeah, I'm gonna keep it in low knee. What do you guys think? Random Doctor is fine. Okay. Dad reputation. Lynn Sr. has I don't some sort of band. I don't know. I don't even know what genre. I don't even know what kind of genre his band represents. Hi, do I want to be your friend? Bubble Hearts? I mean, sure. You want to be my friend? Hit the like button and subscribe. That's all I can tell you, Bubbles. But hello, welcome to the stream. Yeah, and from what I've heard, New Wish is for the most part actually really solid. Yeah, I saw a couple episodes on Netflix, and I still need to finish it, by the way. Yeah, from what I've heard, it's really solid. Alright, dad reputation. Lynn's dad has a band. They're terrible. Oliver's kids hate it until Luna actually joins the band and actually makes up for how awful it is, more or less. But then Luna realizes if she keeps performing with them, it's gonna screw her reputation as a aspiring rock star. She feels like she's gonna look silly in front of her friends, her bandmates, and maybe even the music industry as a whole. So she tries to take all these measures to make sure no one realizes that she's performing at the gig, and then she realizes, and then her dad catches on. You know what? Her dad catches on. He's like, okay, I get it, sweetie. Our styles are different. I get why you've been so evasive. So you don't have to perform with us if you don't want to. So honestly, props to the writing for making Lynn Sr. this perceptive, because it shows that he's really mindful of his children's feelings, which is something that really doesn't get explored often, because we really know, we've seen time and again Lynn Sr. and Rita screw up as parents. So this is one of those times where he definitely feels like a responsible dad, one who is mindful of his children's feelings. And then by the end, Luna performs with them. Turns out her friends don't mind. Okay, the one thing that does bother me though, did Luna seriously believe that the Moon Goats would think less of her just for doing her dad this favor? Like, that's the only inconsistency that really bothers me. Like, girl, you're dating one of them. For whatever it's worth, you're dating one of them. Like, do you really think they would think less of you? Your closest friends would think less of you for doing this? Like, for improving a whole band at the expense of your reputation? Like, that would ironically enhance it. If you interpret it in a way where she's worried that it'll screw over her reputation in the music industry, I understand. But for the most part, this episode doesn't really focus on that, so I want to say high met or a low neat. What do you guys think? The only Luna episode I like this season, the beginning is really nice. Has some funny moments, like Lenny being smart. Yeah. Like, yeah, all the siblings collaborating just to keep Luna's cover. Like, I don't know. Remember how considerate Lynn Sr. was to Luann when he wanted to take over the business after she took a cooking elective? Well, that's the thing, though. I think the circumstances are a little different. You know what? If anything, this episode just shows his development from that episode, because at first, okay, Luann is a really good cook. Lynn Sr. is really happy that one of his kids is taking up one of his passions, so he wants her to be a successor or becomes too overbearing. Like, if anything, this episode shows that he really has grown in understanding his children's feelings. So, you know what? Okay. When I think about it, this is a good, it shows good progress in his character development for whatever it's worth. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a neat. Yeah, you know what? Sure. Let's give it a high neat. Why not? Still better than most cartoon parents for listening on Nickelodeon? Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the Turners are supposed to be bad parents. It's the reason Timmy has fairies in the first place. SpongeBob's parents we don't really see because he's a functional adult. Arnold's parents completely missing. He's raised by his grandparents for most of the show's runtime. Can't think of many more, but yeah. Let's see. All right. Animal House. Lana. Okay, okay, again, why is my playlist cut short? Like, I thought I agreed. Why does it keep ending after a fixed amount of songs? It's only been like, what, 5 of them? You know what? Maybe it is owed to the ad block. I'm gonna turn it off. Anyways. Alright, guys. We are about an hour into the stream. I think it's time for a break. I'll be right back. Okay, I had enough of a breather. Where were we? You know, I probably shouldn't close OBS. I almost did on accident. Like the new background? Yeah, it is Gravity Falls. Thank you for recognizing it, Boot. The Bell family from Drake and Josh. I'm pretty sure Bell is just Drake Bell's actual name. He's called Drake Parker in Drake and Josh. I guess the Nichols Parker family is what you want to call it. Like, they don't really address their last names very often. They never refer to the collective. They never actually give the collective family, refer to the collective family by their actual name. But alright, we were at Animal House? Yeah, hold on. I just want to keep up with chat for a little bit. That one van episode where Lynn Sr. didn't want anyone in the new van, and Rita tried using jealousy against it. Yeah, that whole episode was a mess. A lot of Lynn Sr.'s behavior there was really out of character. Rita trying to make him jealous with some moderately attractive dude, him disregarding all of his kids. That whole episode was a mess. But that was like, what, season 3? Season 2? We already talked about it. It was awful. Alright. Animal House. Lana hanging out, volunteering at an animal shelter or something like that. She gets really attached to the animals, but then Sam suggests, oh, by the way, Sam is there for whatever reason. She suggests, hey, get these animals an actual home. Like, yeah, you're gonna be separate from them, but at least they'll be safe. Like, there was like a penguin and a dog and I forgot what most of the animals were. I just remember the penguin. Like, I don't know, what does that say? Like, it just tells me that the episode is really forgettable when all I can remember is the penguin. Like, he was really cute, and then Lana decides, okay, if I can't keep him here, I'll just hide them at home. Then shenanigans ensue. She leaves some of them at Leanne's farm. She keeps traveling in the middle of the night to be able to help them when they need her. She gets burnt out, and then she realizes, okay, Sam was right. I gotta send them away. But, I don't know. Like, I don't know. The plot is a little too predictable. It doesn't have a lot of funny moments. All I can really say is that the penguin was cute. So, I'm gonna give it a low meh. Just off the top of my head, but what do you guys think? The only thing you remember is that they said Ohio. Is that what the new zoo was or whatever it's called? A penguin, a llama. Yeah, I only remember the penguin, to be honest. And a frog. Didn't she keep the frog, or was there another one? I honestly don't know, but it's a relatively forgettable episode. Also, one thing that does bother me, and maybe it's a minor nitpick, but who was running that shelter at the start of the episode? Was it like Sam's parents? Like, we see there is no adult supervision whatsoever that we see in that shelter. So who the heck is running it? Sam's parents? Some random adult we don't know about? That just left Lana unattended? Like, it's never really implied or mentioned. Yeah, Lana and Sid. Lana and really the whole Chang family, because Mrs. Chang is a zookeeper. She manages a whole zoo. She's experienced with a lot of animals. Like, that'd be one crossover I'd actually be down for, but a waste of potential. Sam herself, she's like 16. She can't legally own it. Can she? I don't know. What are the laws in Michigan with owning property? At least of that capacity, like a whole ass building's worth of property? I guess part-time employee or a volunteer? Like, I don't know. They don't elaborate in that in any capacity. Just Sam is there. Sam is just there. That's all. They don't say anything about what she does there. Hey Market Ma'am, how you doing? Brewster Ninja, I'm chilling. What's good? Like, I don't know. Like, ultimately, it doesn't change anything, but I'm just a little curious. Y'all already know how maybe I'm a little too lore obsessed for my own good, but it is what it is. Alright. Diamonds are for never. Let's see. Lola and Grouse find a diamond. They argue over who it belongs to. They fight over it throughout the whole episode. Lola thinks Mr. Grouse stole it, but then it turns out it was in, like, Lincoln's magic box that has a little trick to it to where you can't see it in plain sight. Like, I don't know. I don't remember a lot of this episode, and what I do remember, it was pretty forgettable. Like, it was a really funny twist. It was a slightly funny twist at the end, but other than that, not a lot that I remember, so And honestly, it pains me to say this for a Lola episode, but I'd say it's a yikes. It's a low yikes or a high yikes or a low meh. What do you guys think? You need to be at least 18 in Michigan to legally own property. There you go. And we know for a fact Sam is 15 or 16. Same grade as Luna, presumably. Local Michigander here? Yeah, boo. You are from Michigan. Thank you. Thank you for verifying that. Just came here to say hi because I don't have time to watch. Oh, I'm sorry, Bruce, too. You know what? Just any support that you can give is appreciated. And part of that support can come in the form of liking and subscribing if you're... Okay, I'd like to believe everyone watching is already subscribed. But do me a favor, guys, and hit that like button. If you haven't already or if you're on your way out. First bad Lola episode? I wouldn't say bad, just meh or forgettable. Okay, if I'm ranking it in yikes, then it probably is a bad episode. And I made that clear in my best episodes video. As much as I appreciate all of the Lola episodes, and I said most of them, and then I showed a frame of this title card. Like, yeah, it's probably the one bad Lola episode I can think of off the top of my head. Racing against one another to find coinage and valuables all over town, and then they find a diamond in the middle of their search. Yeah, then they argue over who actually found it? I don't know, man. The fact that I don't remember, what does that tell you? Like, it's just a really forgettable episode, to say the least. Nothing out of character, it's just forgettable and really boring. And you know what? I guess you could say bad equals boring in certain contexts. But alright, Grub Snub. Lincoln and friends, just hanging out at Gus's Games Club. Yes, Gus's Games Club, the pizza and arcade place. And then Lenny, her high school friends, and her co-workers, whatever place they were hanging out with, it closed permanently, so they start hanging out at Gus's Games and Grub as well. And for some reason, they cram themselves into the table of Lincoln's friend group's table. They start being overbearing. They start being Gus's favorite customers, so they compete over who gets to stay, even though... Is there any reason to think that they can't just go to a different table and mind their own business? Like, I don't know, the premise of it just feels really forced. And also, Lenny's kind of a dick. Not just Lenny, but really her whole friend group. Hey, like, is there any reason you had to hog everything that Lincoln and friends were doing? Did you have to take their table? Like, the plot says, oh, we're sold out of spaghetti pizza. We gave the last one to Lenny's group. Like, everything about it just feels so contrived and so forced, and maybe it would have been interesting to see Lincoln and Lenny at odds with each other, but nah, this is not the right way to do it, so I'm gonna give it a yikes. What do you guys think? One of my guilty pleasures of Season 5? Why'd they say that, Flash? Timberwolf. Is that a Legion of Superheroes reference, or... I don't know, let me see. Hold on. What is your icon, Flash? Okay, I guess Timberwolf is just a comment. It's just a term. The premise sucks for props for being one of the few entertaining episodes of the season. I guess. The little competition they had of who can get in the most ski balls, who can make a pizza fast enough, I guess it was entertaining. But even then, the premise is forced and a lot of the ideas, like, I don't know, they just rub me the wrong way. Maybe once we're done here, I'll give it a low meh. But for now, I think it's staying in yikes. I don't know. If you guys like it, then I ain't gonna stop you. But for me, it's definitely a relatively uncomfortable episode. But alright. School of Shock. Lisa's teacher gets fed up with how Lisa keeps going all nerd emoji on her teacher. So the teacher quits and she's like, let's see you do a better job. And then she quits. And then she's just minding her own business in the teacher's lounge. And then Lisa takes over. All the kids get too distracted, or they just think Lisa is really boring. Until Lisa brings in an actual dinosaur, starts wreaking havoc. Then Lisa asks the teacher for help. I forgot what her name was. And then the teacher calms down the dinosaur, and then Lisa realizes, hey, there's more to teaching than actually just knowing shit. You have to actually connect with the students. You have to actually find a means to resonate with the kids, make sure they're learning and whatnot. Like, I don't know. It's a good message. It's a fun premise. Like, I can't think of anything too bad with it off the top of my head, except for a couple they have like one or two fart jokes. Like, that definitely makes it lose some points. So, and yeah, Darcy does make an appearance again. I'll give it points for that as well. Like, Darcy is a very charming character. Lisa almost kills everybody with a dinosaur, and that's right. Well, yeah, the whole point of the episode is Lisa, she may know her stuff, but she's really out of touch when it comes to making connections. Even with the bond she has with Darcy, like, forming a collective bond with all of her classmates, like, I can understand why she would struggle with that amidst her adoption of certain social skills that she got in season 2 through Darcy. So yeah, I'm gonna give it, I want to give it a neat. What do you guys think? Really? You think it's a dog water? What makes you say that, Oscar? Hello, and how's my day, Power Pokemon? My day is good enough. What's good? Art jokes are a cop-out for comedy. You know what? The more you guys talk, the more I want to put this in meh. But I don't know. I want to hear more before I... You know what? I'm gonna put it on hold for now before I say anything. But alright. This the cook? Easy dog water. Easy dog water. Lunch Lady is not giving Lincoln a proper portion size because apparently she still has beef with her mom after something that happened like, what, 20 years ago? 15 years ago? How old is Rita Loud now that I think about it? Because apparently Rita was really popular in high school. She was close friends with her and she didn't invite her to like a graduation party or something like that. And then it turns out the invitation just went missing for whatever reason, and it was all just a misunderstanding. Even then, that's no excuse to literally starve her child. And any children. Like, apparently it wasn't just Lincoln. Turns out this lunch lady did the same thing to all of Lincoln's older sisters. Like, I don't know. If Lincoln had just reported her to the principal, she would have been fired, and that's that. Like, why are we pretending like she deserves to be pitied or rewarded? Easy dog water. Have I heard of Wild Pack, co-created by former Loud House director? Yeah, apparently the pilot is officially airing this week on Mexican Nickelodeon, and I do want to watch it if I get the chance, but that's the thing, guys. I don't get home from work until around 6 p.m., so chances are I'm gonna miss it, or I'm not gonna get a chance to watch it until next weekend. Did I see the new Fire Emblem Shadows? Yeah, what the hell was up with that? Apparently it's like Fire Emblem Among Us. Apparently a lot of characters have personas. Like, I don't know. From what people have told me, it does not feel like Fire Emblem whatsoever, so I did not pick it up. I'm surprised you put this at dog water. Lincoln have... I guess that's its only redeeming quality, Loompe. Like, for once, Lynn is not being a dick to Lincoln or anything along those lines. Like, it's nice to see them working together, more or less, but I feel like that should be the bare minimum with Lincoln and all of his siblings, so I can't really give it points for that, more or less. The one good thing about This the Cook is that did she establish that nickname by that point? Probably. It is season 5, so... Nah, I think it's still gonna stay in dog water. Would I say... Yeah, after Family Bonding, but before Ghosted. I guess Ghosted is my least favorite episode of season 5, but you know what? We're only halfway through the season, so... I don't know. In any moment, why felt? I think you meant to say, I feel like Wild Pack is gonna jump the shark. We'll see. Like, I don't know. Somebody did leak the pilot on Twitter, and I did watch it, and there was a couple things that bothered me. Like, it's not a problem. Like, I don't dislike the premise by any means. Lily, her 2 parents, her grandma, same house. They own a pet grooming business, and then her half-brother has to moves in with her for the summer because, well, his birth mom is a little too worried that he's not gonna have a normal childhood, so he wants him to spend the summer with his dad and actually basically live like a normal kid. The van they bought, like, I don't remember a lot about it. It was like, what, 4 months ago? I don't remember when it aired on... I don't remember when I saw that leak, but I don't remember too much about it. But then again, I've only seen 1 episode. It's too quick. It's too soon for me to judge. But alright, as far as School of Shock is concerned, yeah, I'm gonna keep it a low neat, unless people got something to say about it. I also like to think that Pam's grudge of the Louds and serving Lynn almost edible garbage is why Lynn kinda acts the way she does. Wait, you mean? Oh, I thought her name was Pat. Okay, that's probably just a typo. Yeah, Boo. I did see it. It dropped yesterday, and I kind of want to play. I kind of want to play it, but do I want to cough up the $70? We'll see. We'll have to wait and see. All right. What was I saying? Like, I don't know. You know what? I guess that would make sense for Lynn, for her attitude to change a little, because we know how much she appreciates protein and being well fed, being an athlete and whatnot, but it feels a little too forced for me to say that should directly contribute to her character. Like, I don't know, it's a little too vague for me to work off of it. Know what I mean? Nothing in solid yet. I know, right, Erica? What does that tell you about the season? Like, what does that tell you about the season when nothing has reached S tier yet? Alright. High crimes. How did this go down again? A bunch of stuff is going missing in the retirement home, including some helium. Lincoln and Clyde investigate. And then it turns out it was... what's his name? The mayor's assistant or whatever he's called? Apparently he has a... I don't know. I don't remember a lot about it, to be honest. It had a couple funny moments, like with the helium, giving Lincoln and Clyde like a high-pitched voice, but that's about it. That's about all I can remember, to be honest. So... I'm gonna place this in... meh? I don't know. I feel like I don't know enough about it for me to jump to a conclusion. You know what? Let's go over the other episodes. Yeah, Vic, whatever his name is. I thought his name was Mitch for some reason. All right. Loudly Bones. Now that I think about it, another Lyle reveal episode. Except, as far as Lisa is concerned, they did it better 3 seasons later in Incognito. Okay, so Lisa finds some bones in her front yard. They belong to a really rare dinosaur. She gets famous off of it, but then it turns out it's just a chicken bone that Charles buried in the front yard or whatever. So then she can't bring herself to fess up. She eventually gets caught. She owns up to it. Yeah, I'm just gonna place it in yikes and leave it at that. I am just typical liar reveal cliche, and even more wasted potential than Fan Scam, to say the least. Still better than House of Lies. Okay, House of Lies is not necessarily it's a plot revolving around lying, but it's not a liar reveal cliche per se. But yeah, House of Lies is awful. Yeah, easy dog water. We've already ranked it. Is his last name seriously McGillicuddy? Pfft. Bro, what are these names, man? Anyways. Alright. Broadcast Blues. The Action News team's equipment is starting to feel obsolete. Chandler wants to join the Action News team because he likes the attention. He comes up with his own segments where he's just an asshole, so they fire him. He basically bribes the team with modern equipment in return for giving him his own segments in the news team and whatnot. Turns out he's a jerk. He quit. They fire him. He takes his... like... How did this go down again? I'm sorry, guys. My memory's a little flimsy. Will I make episode reviews of shows? Just more or less individual episodes of Citizen on YouTube. Anything that piques my interest, more or less. As a lover of the original Pac-Man World 2, the repacks feels almost too different from it. It has interesting concepts, but it feels too bloated and slow for a remake, really. There's also the fact that Pac-Man, from what I heard, he has full-blown voice acting. Or was that always a thing? I don't know. Like, it's not just the whole... He actually has like full-blown voice lines, more or less, from the clips that I've seen of the remake. And also, apparently, it's... You know what? I'll take your word for it, Boo. Apparently, there's a lot of problems with it. You had it for the episode premise? What do you mean? Really? Dog water cool coin? This one could basically go in any tier? How did it go? Okay, let me think. Action News team, outdated equipment. Chandler wants to join because he wants attention. He bribes him with really fancy equipment. Then it turns out, as far as his segments are concerned, everyone hates him. So, then he refuses to quit, so the Action News team blackmails him, so then he actually quits, he takes all his equipment, and then the team realizes, hey, we can just use our cell phones to record and whatnot. It makes for really good cameras. So, what was the point of this? This whole episode feels kind of pointless, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know, I appreciate the unity of the Action News team and whatnot, like the opening sequence, and you can tell they put a little bit of attention and thought into some of the ideas, but most of them definitely fall flat, so I'd say either a yikes or a low meh. I don't know, what do you guys think? Pac-Man makes noises in Pac-Man 2, if that's anything? Chandler feels like... I mean, Chandler is always a bully power Pokemon. I mean, it's really no different here. Depends on how much you like Chandler being asked. To me, it's just mid. Yeah. Like, I get it. He's just supposed to serve as a foil for Lincoln and whatnot. Like, as a bully. Like, how Pacifica was for Mabel in the first season of Gravity Falls. And never meant to be anything more than a bully. And, well, this is season 5, and we're in season 9 now, and he's still pretty much the same. Can I really hold it against him for not doing anything interesting with this guy? A little bit, so I'd say a low meh. Like, Chandler is a dick, but at the very least, it's what I expect out of him, and it's not unappealing per se. Like, sometimes they really do work well with it, like in Time Trap. Like, they show that if Lincoln never existed, Chandler would have been the one to befriend Stella on the bus, and he would eventually take over Lincoln, be the head of Lincoln's friend group. Like, sometimes they do work well with him, but other times, most of the time, it's just Lincoln lame. Like, nah, they just don't do well enough with him. So yeah, I think a low meh, maybe a yikes. I don't know, what do you guys think? Alright. Elect shunned. Lenny's doing like an internship for the mayor of Royal Woods. Her assistant is a dick, and it turns out the mayor is kind of slimy, so Lenny decides to run for mayor, which I'm not even sure she can legally do. She's 17. Or maybe she's canonically 18? Maybe she's like only a couple months? Maybe she's exactly 9 months? Maybe she's already 18? I don't know, man. All I know is, pretty sure minors cannot run for elected office in any part of the United States, but you know what? Let's just put the technicality aside for now. Lenny decides to run for mayor, and then she realizes that politics is basically just a slander competition between her and the mayor. So, and then Lenny realizes that, she's like, okay, maybe people should be elected on principle and not how badly they can make their opponent look. So, and then she realizes people, like, I don't know, the whole town of Royal Woods just riding off of the idea, Lenny, what's the gossip about Mayor Davis? And the moment she refuses to stop gossiping, people are like, boo, we're electing Mayor Davis, and then Mayor Davis ends up winning. Like, I don't know, it just says a lot about the townsfolk as a collective whole, and not in a good way. And then Mayor Davis realizes, hey, maybe I should be working off of my merit more, working off of what I can do as a mayor, rather than just trying to make my opponent look bad. So she fires her assistant. But even then, the Loud House satirizing politics is something... yeah, not something you would expect out of a show like this, I will say that. Like, I don't know, it has its moments, but at the same time, there's a couple inconsistencies that really bother me, so I'm gonna give it a low meh. What do you guys think? You hated that episode and not because it was political? Yeah, honestly, guys, just running for mayor as a whole, it doesn't have to be too... there's a fine... Kid shows are allowed to be moderately political in some capacities. Like, just the idea of running for mayor or whatever. Like, Amphibia's done it. Fairly Odd Parents did it when Timmy was running for president. Like tackling a smidge of political conflict and whatnot, like, that's not really an issue, more or less. But yeah, it's kind of on the nose about it in this regard. If anything, Mayor Davis made some callouts from previous episodes to use against Lenny in her speech, did she? I don't remember exactly. Yeah, Vic is a dick, but again, it's kind of the point with him. He serves as an antagonist, more or less. Come to think of it, that's the second time we have a character who's just a jerk for the sake of being a jerk. just like Chandler. So, yeah, probably gonna place it in Yikes. Like, at least Chandler came first. Like, it feels like they didn't know what to do with Chandler at first, because keep in mind, guys, he's been around since season 1. Like, y'all remember that episode where he was having a party, Lincoln and Clyde were trying too hard to gain favor with him and get invited. Then Chandler doesn't even remember his name. He took advantage of Lincoln's, Lori's employment to get all that free stuff, and then he never owned up to it. Like, I don't know, he's been like, at first, they try to make him seem like a passively overrated, popular kid. And then later, he just turns into a full-blown bully that hardly anyone likes. Like, it feels like a complete 180. Not in the worst of ways, but it's still really jarring. She brought up the family being banned from all of the pools. That is true. I completely forgot about that. The zombie scare and even their restaurant habits. Wait, the zombie scare? Like, last loud on Earth? What does that have to do with Lenny? I guess if her brother is looking bad, then yeah, it would say some things about her. Oh my goodness, yeah. It's kind of on the nose with the politics the more I think about it. The joke of the episode is Lenny being a decent politician. That is so yeah, the dumbass of the family being the most competent politician, for whatever that's worth. Yeah. Okay, you know what? It's definitely staying in Yikes. I would probably say after Grub Snub, but before Diamonds Are For Never. Diamonds Are For Never are just everything after Diamonds Are For Diamonds Are For Never, and everything after that is just boring or badly written. But alright. Rumor has it, from what people have told me, not a bad episode. Middle school class is going on a field trip, but the bus is full, so Lincoln and his friend group have to go with Bullhoffner in a van. And then they've heard all these rumors about him, about how maybe he's an escaped convict, maybe he's mentally unstable. Like, apparently, like, they keep hearing that he has a lot of secret baggage. Then the van breaks down, he has a cabin in the woods, and they're staying there until Bullhoffner can call for help, and then it's raining, so the help can't come. Then they try to run away, then Bullhoffner saves them from a bear. Like, I don't know, it's a classic don't judge a book by its cover kind of lesson. But at the same time, Bullhoffner is relatively memorable, nobody behaves out of character, it's nothing problematic, so for the most part, it's fine. I can't think of anything wrong with it. Like, I don't know, it has a couple funny moments, like Lincoln saying, Rusty doesn't know how to dance, can you teach him? And then Bullhoffner teaches him to keep him distracted. And then Bullhoffner saves him from the bear in an surprisingly and scientifically accurate way of dealing with a grizzly bear. Just roar back at him, just look imposing. Like, it's like in situations like that, I am really glad that I am 6'1", because you put someone on my shoulders, you roar a little, and you can actually ward off a grizzly bear. Is it a grizzly bear, or is it just brown bears in general? Like, I don't know. I've heard about how dealing with a bear by stacking on top of each other and coming off as intimidating. You know what I'm talking about, right, guys? I don't know how better to word it, but for the most part, yeah, I'd say this episode is fine. And then the kids are like, we heard all these rumors about you, then Bullhoffner gets his feelings hurt. Like, I don't know. For such a one-off character, who's just a typical grumpy teacher, it definitely humanizes him in all the right ways, so do I want this to be the first solid of the season, if there has to be any? What do you guys think? Probably the lowest solid in the entire show, but it still has enough good to earn it. It's actually good. Low solid. Alright. Sure, why not? Unless it's a polar bear. Yeah, in those situations, yeah, just give up. A polar bear, they straight up prey on humans if they get the chance. Like, yeah, polar bears are straight up assholes. Polar bears are the racists of the bear family. Heard about it from Casual Geographic? Yeah, Casual. Oh my God, Casual. I haven't not seen his videos in a while, but he's really funny. What is he called? Is he still called Casual Geographic? I keep seeing him change his name every now and again. What's he been up to lately? What is he called nowadays? Okay, he went back to Casual Geographic, because a while back he was called Hood Nature, or something like that. Like, he kept changing his name back and forth. Okay, I guess he just stuck with Casual Geographic, but he's a cool guy. Y'all should check him out. If y'all are into biology and whatnot, y'all should check him out. He's actually really funny. Character development for a usually negative character is always good in my book, yeah. Not necessarily negative, just a run-of-the-mill grumpy teacher. I guess that is a negative in the grand scheme of things. Alright. Flip, Miss Carol. Y'all already know how I feel about Flip. It's just a parody of Christmas Carol with nothing interesting. And then by the end of the episode, Flip still doesn't learn his lesson. And they try to pass it off as it being funny. We talked about this last week, now that I think about it. So, yeah, easy dog water. Would I say after this to cook? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we are, what, an hour and a half into the stream, and we barely got our first solid of the tier list. Oh my goodness, we are in for a wild ride. Alright. Camped. Another half-hour special, a once-in-a-blue-moon half-hour special. The summer camp that Lynn Sr. and his dad hold near and dear to their hearts, out of nowhere, more or less, is closing down. So the loud kids convince their dad to stop by the camp and maybe live out a couple more days in the summer camp just so he can relive his nostalgia and maybe one last time. That's a really sweet gesture. And it turns out there's a secret treasure. The Louds want to find it in hopes of getting the funds to save the camp. Like, I don't know. This kind of teeters on the line of supernatural gimmicks that really don't feel appropriate for the show, but it's not excessive by any means. Like a cave with trapdoors and booby traps, like that's nothing out of the ordinary, more or less. Like, it feels a little outlandish for the show, but it's not too overbearing by any means. So, and then by the end of the episode, they find the treasure. Then it turns out the camp owner doesn't want it because he wants the camp to close down because he's retiring. And then Lynn Sr.'s dad takes over. His name is Leonard, and did he really need all of that gold just to save the funding? Like, I feel like with one piece, like, keep in mind, guys, the treasure trove, it was like the size of a mattress. Like, did he, like, a whole mattress's worth of gold coins? Like, did he really need all of it to cover the funds? Like, I don't know. There's a couple inconsistencies, but it's relatively memorable from what I can think of off the top of my head. Without camp, we wouldn't have the summer camp arc that recently aired. Is that a good thing in Enigma? It hasn't aired here in Mexico, so I honestly don't know off the top of my head. Camped is a solid episode. It's an awesome episode. Ironically enough, Flip Miss Carol does set up something for a later episode in a later season. If it's from season 9 Enigma, I'm probably not. Why is the music so quiet? Okay, it's supposed to. Enigma, if it's anything to do with the latter half of season 9, then don't tell me, because spoilers. Okay, most people think it's a good episode, and yeah, I would say I agree. But what do you guys think? You guys think neat or a low solid? Like, it's a memorable episode. I can't think of anything particularly wrong with it. Like, it's very charming. It has a couple funny moments, like Rita roaring at the bear. Like, a bear is roaring at the Louds just to protect her baby, and then Rita does the same with Lily. Like, I don't know, Luna performing row, row, row your boat, and turns out that's what triggers, that's what opens the locked gateway and whatnot. Like, the messaging is a little on the nose. Like, at the end of the episode, all the Louds are about to fall off a cliff because they're all carrying the treasure. And then Lynn Sr. says, hey, get rid of all the treasures. You're way more important than that. Like, I don't know. The messaging was a little on the nose, but I don't know. I can't think of anything wrong with it. Unless someone wants to speak up, then it's either a neat or a solid. I don't know exactly mid, low, or high, but I don't know. The summer camp arc was awful? Really? I guess I'll find out soon enough. You said treasure in One Piece and I took that out of context for a second. The One Piece! The One Piece is real! And that's pretty much the extent of all of my knowledge about One Piece. Just that one meme. Yeah, for now, I think I'm just gonna leave it in neat. It's nice to have an episode with all the Louds doing something, I suppose. Okay, season's cheatings. Actually, we talked about this last week. And we came to the consensus that it's a solid. So, hooray! We finally have more than one episode that's a solid. Although, that really, and you know what? Let's not fixate on so much negativity. That contextual flip episode I mentioned happened in season 6? Really? I feel like I would have remembered it. Oh, you mean, is it Flip This Flip? The one where he tries to get with that lady? It turns out she's just as gross as him? You know what? I'll look into it later. Maybe when we get to season 6. Alright. The live action One Piece is really good? Yeah, I've heard surprisingly good things about it. And apparently season 2 it's on its way. You know what? I do have a Netflix account. Maybe I should watch it in my off time. We'll see. Yeah, Oscar. A flip episode being bad? What a shock. Alright. For Sale by Loner. The Loud kids are being rowdy as usual. Mr. Grouse is fed up with it. So he moves away to another neighborhood. Turns out the neighbors there are more annoying than the Louds ever were. So he moves back to Royal Woods. By the time he gets back, his house was already sold, so but then by the end of the episode he gets the house back though. Like, I don't know. Just a typical I didn't appreciate what I had kind of just a typical I didn't appreciate what you have less message. Like, I don't know. I don't remember a lot about it, and honestly, the idea of Meryl and Cheryl and Bull Hoffner being bad neighbors, it feels a little forced. But I don't know. The idea of appreciating the Louds for what they are, in this kind of context, it's not too bad of an idea. So I want to say a high meh or a low neat. I don't know. What do you guys think? Actually decent? Really? If you're referring to this one. Are you referring to this one, Coolcoin? How did it go down exactly? It's a good episode. You know what? I didn't even realize it was a play on words on For Sale by Owner. Mr. Grouse is attempting to... My goodness. Yes, I'm using Adblock. Deal with it. Mr. Grouse is attempting to get through his day. However, for every task he tries to do, the Louds would arrive and inconvenience him, much to his annoyance. Like a jetpack-toting Lincoln crashing into him while folding towels, Luna's speakers being too loud, Lenny hogging his TV to watch the Dreamboat. Okay, that is one thing. Going into your neighbor's house just to watch TV without asking? Like, nah, that's a big red flag. I don't care how tight, unless you are buddy-buddy with your neighbors and they're basically family, like, what are we doing, man? Len tossing a football that flies into his house, breaking many things. Grouse is fed up, he puts his house for sale, admits he needs some alone time, blah blah blah. Stay in the spare bedroom of Cheryl and Meryl's condo, but when he tries to sleep, the two practice for a hoedown competition. Again, it feels really forced. Like, ladies, you have a guy sleeping on the floor underneath you. Like, read the freaking room. Like, I don't know. Grouse moves to a different spot, then he gets a place next to Bull Hoffner, and then Grouse himself becomes annoying, and then he realizes that he misses the Louds. Yeah, that's more or less the gist of it. Like, I don't know. I think for now, there's a couple inconsistencies. I can appreciate the messaging in some capacity, but it's nothing too special, so I'm gonna give it a high meh. Yeah, Nitro, you're right, a high meh. Alright, Dream a Lily Dream. Would this be the start of when they started shoehorning in all these supernatural gimmicks? Like, it's one thing when you bring in an actual dinosaur, like at the very least that idea is contained, but here, it's basically the whole plot. Lily's having nightmares, so the plan is to go inside her dreams and take out the nightmares directly. Like, I don't know, supernatural gimmick, not a lot of memorable, like, just, you know what, I will give it credit. It did make me laugh a couple of times. Like, the whole running gag of someone going, like, it's 3 in the morning as they're dealing with Lily's dream, and the rest of the Louds have to keep watch that Lily doesn't wake up. And then either Mr. Grouse or somebody is making noise outside, so one of the Louds has to go outside and actually shut down what they're doing, and then Frida gets like a hammer to smash Mr. Grouse's lawnmower, and it all happens off screen. We just hear the noise. Like, it was kind of funny. It got a good laugh out of me, at least the way it's presented. Contained it showed that Lisa can time travel. Yeah, I guess it is more or less established that Lisa has capabilities for time traveling. Like, that kind of cartoon shenanigans, it doesn't bother me, even in the slice of life genre. Cool coin, peak cinema might be a bit of a stretch. Like, it made me laugh a couple of times, like, but at the same time, like I said, the whole plot revolving around a supernatural gimmick in a slice of life show, like, that is definitely a little too jarring for comfort. It has a couple sweet moments, but like, I don't know, when it comes to the action and the nightmare, it gets a little too sappy and too corny. Like, Lily grabbing a piece of squid and turning it into a sword, killing the giant flip, like, I don't know, it's just too silly for my liking. Like, the ending is really sweet, like, Lily waking up, crawling up to Lisa's bed, and she says, "Lily had a good dream about you, Lisa." Like, I don't know. It's a really sweet dynamic that I think definitely needs to be explored more, but I don't think this episode did the trick well enough. So, I want to say high meh. What do you guys think? Probably my favorite in the season? Really? I don't know, it's nothing too crazy if you ask me. The whole "if you expire in the dream, you expire RRL" has been used before. Yeah, kind of a cliche. Too silly for dream logic? Well, not really. It's not really the ideas, it's just the way it's presented, the action. Leave Lisa alone! Okay, you know what, Boo? You're kind of onto something. Maybe I'm exaggerating. But even then, it doesn't really help the episode in any way. Like, I get that this is a kid show, but most of the time, I feel like this is the kind of show that doesn't need to ride on that idea, but you know what? Either way, I think I stand by it. I don't know. Do you guys think it deserves anything higher than a meh? Like, I don't know, it made me laugh a couple of times. It has its moments. It has a couple heartfelt and funny moments, but the premise is just a little too contrived. Like, sure, I guess Lisa can build a time machine, but going into dreams, like having it the whole plot revolve around it, like, nah. I don't know. If you guys can make a better case for it than I can, then by all means, I'm more than happy to hear it. But for now, let's get to the next episode. Frame on You. Rusty gets framed for putting a stink bomb at a school dance, and he gets suspended as a result. So, Lincoln and the squad, they have to go out of the way to prove his innocence. And then it turns out, whoever the culprit really was, they rented a suit from the tuxedo store that is run by Rusty's dad. They see a list of the names behind the reservations. They think it's a boy named Jordan, but then it turns out it's girl Jordan. Like, I don't know. It was a cute twist, but Jordan's motivations for doing what she did, they feel a little contrived. Like, we don't find out until after she gets caught why she did it. And we don't know, and, well, you know what? Okay, so basically the reason she did it is because Rusty was her partner for a home cooking project. Rusty was showing off damn smooth, like the typical cocky idiot he is. He ruins the cake, they both fail, so Jordan wants revenge. She disguises herself as Rusty, she impersonates his voice, drops a stink bomb at the dance, and then blames him. And then by the end of the episode, for some reason, girl Jordan goes unpunished. Like, I don't know. The ideas are a little flimsy, but at the same time, the episode does keep you entertained. And finding out who the culprit is, all the detective work that they do, Rusty disguising himself as a teacher, just so he can still stay in school. Like, I don't know, the idea of him posing as a substitute teacher is a little silly, but not too silly for this kind of show. So, the seasons I didn't watch, New Lands, yeah. Hello, Aura. Welcome to the stream. Is this where Girl Jordan is revealed? No, Boo. Actually, Girl Jordan's been a character since like season 2, but yeah, this is the first time they've used her in like what, 3 seasons? This is the first time she's been relevant to the plot since like season 2, and honestly, I've talked about it why that's a problem before, but I don't want to get into it again. No one got properly punished. Even Rusty is illegally being a sub despite being a student by the principal. That is true. He's 11 years old. He legally can't be a substitute teacher, and he's suspended. Like, legally, he should not be on school grounds, yet there he is. And it turned out he was innocent, though, so in some ways it doesn't matter. Like, it's entertaining, but at the same time, it has a lot of problems, so... Well, not too many problems, I would say, so I would give it a low meh. Like, yeah, again, an antagonist just going unpunished. Once again, an antagonist in a plot going unpunished. It was Girl Jordan here, 2 occasions with what's his name, Principal Huggins. Like that whole time when he tried to screw over the writing club. That time when he forced Lincoln and Clyde to go into detention just so he could use their comic to win a contest. Like again, why is this show so afraid of punishing antagonists the way they deserve? Like it's just so bothersome, know what I mean? Okay, guys, I gotta go to the bathroom, so... You know what, let me re-chat a little bit, and then I'll be right back. Own up for their mistakes and actions, no one got properly punished. 50-50 with it, and Girl Jordan is okay in the episode. Like, pfft. Credit where credit is due, they finally bothered giving her screen time after, like, what, 3 seasons? Like, remember, guys. Throughout a good chunk of season 2, Girl Jordan had a handful of appearances where she was just casually hanging out with Lincoln's friend group. Then Stella showed up and they just completely forgot she existed. Like, I don't know what they're doing with her, but it's definitely really bothersome. But alright guys, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. Back to it, shall we? The last episode where Girl Jordan had relevance in an episode was when she had that pool party. Yeah, past her bedtime. That was season 2. After season 1, I mean, season 1, she was just a background character with 1 or 2 lines here and there. But yeah, it's like I discussed before, guys, in my videos. Like, the reason for Stella being introduced was basically because, wait, Girl Jordan is what? It feels like I don't mean to make any bold, it's a pretty bold accusation, but at the same time, like, it just adds up too well. Like, the reason Girl Jordan is irrelevant is because they had to introduce Stella. They just had to introduce a girl of color for Lincoln's friend group, and I guess Girl Jordan wasn't good enough for whatever reason. Like, as soon as you see Stella, Girl Jordan is basically irrelevant for a very long time, or basically irrelevant all the time. Like, it genuinely feels like... Well, you know what? I've discussed enough about Stella in the past. Do I really want to repeat myself? I'm honestly surprised Mudkip can just remember 99% of the episodes just from seeing the title cards, more or less. Like, I don't know, Erica. That's the thing. Like, I'm just minding my own business at home, minding my own business when I get home from work. Couple episodes, the Loud House re-airs way too often on Nickelodeon, and at this point, yeah, I've pretty much caught up with every episode in the span of, like, what, 2 years? Stella's my favorite character? Yeah, she is one of my favorites. She's definitely misutilized in several occasions, but she's definitely a very charming character. This season, it's the season with more Girl Jordan lines. Since when? Since, like, what, season 2? Wasn't it you who said Lincoln and Stella had a good relationship? Yeah. What? I never denied that, Frost. What made you think I would deny that? But alright, where was I? Right. Frame on you. Lome. Misty Martino. Lincoln's substitute teacher that was too hot for him to focus hasn't returned either. I mean, to be fair, I can understand why she was meant to be a one-off character. She was more or less just a plot device, and they definitely treat her that way. She wasn't meant to be anything special, and the narrative definitely reflects that. And you know what? Maybe it's for the best. Because how crazy would it be if all the boys started crushing on Miss DiMartino again, and Stella was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you guys?" Like, honestly, you know what? Never mind. That would make for a pretty interesting plot. Like, imagine Stella being jealous of Miss DiMartino and whatnot. Like, I don't know. That would just it would at the very least make for good comedy. That's just me, though. But alright. Zack Attack. Zack's first solo episode. Apparently, aliens are passing by the sky or something like that, and Zack hosts a whole camp out for all of his classmates. Nobody believes him, it doesn't happen, so he stages one with his friends. They get caught anyways. Nah, I can't think of anything I actually like about this episode. So... Is there anything I can remember of this episode that I actually liked? Not really, to be honest. Not really. Do I want to put it in yikes or do I want to put it in mids? High yikes for this one? Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards, Oscar. Like, yeah. Like, I can't really remember anything about it, and to be honest, the idea of Lincoln's friends humoring Zack's conspiracy theories and whatnot, like, all 5 of them just try to humor him for the sake of making him happy? Like, I don't know, it feels a little forced. You'd think there'd be at least one friend who would disagree, or be the voice of reason in the friend group, but I guess they were just too lazy to give it that kind of nuance. Don't forget the ending where the second UFO sightings at the end was because of Flip, and yeah, also a sham. So, like, again, if that UFO was real, it honestly wouldn't be a problem. Like, I know I complain about supernatural gimmicks and whatnot, but in small, conclusive, or comedic doses, like, it's not an issue at all. But yeah, it's also a scam. So yeah, I think I'm comfortable placing this in yikes. What do you guys think? That would be funny. Stella would be like, guys, get over yourself. She's twice your age. Exactly. Exactly. That would just make for a really interesting comedy. Alright. Much Ado About Noshing. Lin Sr. is getting negative reviews about the restaurant. The Loud Kids track down who was possibly giving negative reviews, so they invite them to a personalized dinner at Lin's table, but then it turns out the whole time, Lin Sr. was sitting on his phone and sending those negative reviews himself at the push of a button. Like, I don't know, that resolution, that twist, it is so stupid, dude. Like, I don't know, I like the idea of the Loud Kids coming together for the sake of the family business, but the twist at the end, it just felt so stupid, man. It felt so forced. Like, okay, I'm sitting on my phone with an app open, and the dislike button is within reach of my butt, this tiny bit of my butt cheek. Like, no, that just doesn't make any sense. Even by cartoon standards, it's dumb. The Yelp satire episode, yeah. Like, I don't know. It has a couple moments that I can remember, to say the least. They didn't make me laugh, but I remember them. But I don't think that's enough to save it here. I want to say low yikes or a high dog water. What do you guys think? Dog water, the Yelp satire episode, yikes. Yeah, I'm leaning towards low yikes or dog water, just because that was so stupid, dude. Lin Sr. works in IT, technology, and information. That alone puts it in low dog water. Wait, what do you mean, Oscar? He stopped working in IT to become a chef. What do you mean? It had most of your dislikable characters. Okay, that is true. It had Huggins, it had Flip, it had... I mean, just their mere existence doesn't bother me. Okay, I kind of do dislike Huggins as a character, but that's just because he goes unpunished. Whenever he serves as an antagonist, on 2 occasions, he went completely unpunished. Like, that's the only reason I dislike Huggins as a character. Other than that, he's fine. Flip, though, I definitely dislike, but is that enough for me to just having a character I dislike is not enough for me to put it in dog water, especially when it's already in yikes. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it in low yikes, but I don't know. But alright. Hurl, interrupted. How did this go down again? Lin, Margot, Maddie, and Paula. They're going to Dairyland. They're trying out like this really big scary ride. And Lin, she's not scared of the ride itself. She's just scared of the fact of throwing up. Because the last time she did, it was really uncomfortable, and then she keeps trying to stall out. She keeps trying to stall them because she doesn't want to fess up to the fact that she's scared. Like, I don't know. It's... in some ways, it's a liar revealed trope. But at the same time, it's definitely different enough to where it might not seem that way at first. So I want to give it points for that. I want to give it a few points for that. That's just me, though. Then at the end of the episode, Lin is stalling so much that she keeps stalling with all the other attractions at Dairyland. And then she accidentally lets a really angry cow loose. She tames it. She becomes a hero. And then her friends are like, wow, Lin, you're a hero. And then Lin confesses that she's scared of going on Whip Scream. And then, because of her antics with trying to stall, she ends up throwing up anyways. And then it turns out she's comfortable with it. Like, I don't know. It's nothing too bad. Wow, there's even a full term for it, Voot. Emetophobia. Did I pronounce that right? Emetophobia? Hold on. Hold up. I gotta see this. Yeah, her fear is genuinely understandable. Like, yeah, barfing is definitely a very uncomfortable idea. At least from the times I've done it. An intense fear of vomiting, barfing, or throwing up. Okay, if that is medically recognized, if there is a proper term for the fear of it, then yeah, it's believable. Can't think of anything too bad with this episode, to be honest. Like, Lin's behavior is a little frustrating, the whole making shit up just so that they don't hop on the big roller coaster. But that's kind of the point. So, never thought I'd say this, but a Lin episode actually might make it to neat, and it might be above average. I don't know. What do you guys think? I would kind of say yikes for this one because Margot and Maddie, yeah, especially Margot. I mean, she's your best friend. Like, after all they've been through, especially in episodes like Hero Today, Gone Tomorrow, you think Margot would be a little more empathetic or catch on to what her best friend is so uncertain about, or really even Paula. Because keep in mind, guys, Paula's whole shtick is that she has a broken leg. She can't get on the ride anyways. You think she would actually listen to Lynn or and whatnot, but there's a phobia for everything, honestly. Phobia means irrational fear of X. I mean, yeah, okay, you're right, Erica. I guess. I mean, there's... Okay, I don't know if Monsters University was messing with me when they said this, but... Is this really a thing? Is the fear of chopsticks really a thing? Consecutaliophobia. Oh my gosh, okay. Monsters University was not screwing with me. There is even a proper term for the fear of fucking chopsticks. Okay, you know what? You got me, Erica. That's fair. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't be too surprised if there's an actual term for the fear of vomiting. Oh gosh. It's a good episode because Lynn isn't sharing an episode with her family members to torment them. Yeah, I guess. Which of her friends had the cast? Paula. The blonde one that's voiced by... What was the name of the actress? Was it Cree Summer? Yeah. Like, honestly, she's a talented voice actress, but she is woefully miscast as Paula. Like, I don't know, the casting is just a little too jarring, and skin color had nothing to do with it. I'm just pulling this out there because a black guy voices Samurai Jack. Like, skin color is not the problem here. It's just the voice acting and the delivery of the lines. Like, they just do not match Paula in a compelling way. That's just me, though. Lynn has more good episodes with the side characters than with her own family. Yeah. Probably the one time where it's the other extreme rather than where the shoe is on the other end of the foot, rather than there being an in-between or it being the other way. Right, okay, we talked about strife of the party last week. Easy dog water. Like, it's really hard for me to feel bad for Lana when what she wants is literally trash. Like, when you think about the consequences, it's not good. Like, I can understand why Lola did everything she did, and for some reason she's painted as the bad guy for it. So, yeah. I'd rather not repeat myself too much, but I already went into detail in this in my worst episodes video. And you know what? I can actually show you guys. Hold on. He has no singing talent? Okay, here it is. Hold on. Hopefully you guys can hear it well enough, assuming I did everything right. The character this much, but they cheapen out when it matters most? Strife of the party. It's the twins' birthday, and Lana wants to be in charge of the decorations for once. I'd have a lot more sympathy for her, especially after Lola's sabotage, if what she wanted wasn't literally trash. Not her love of animals, her mechanical prowess, her adoration of that NASCAR racer, or any other potential theme that could have provoked more subtle discomfort. Literally the first thing she asked for at the party store is the nearest dumpster. How am I supposed to feel bad for her? I know Lana in general isn't afraid to get dirty and she unapologetically grosses people out sometimes, but sometimes this gets taken too far. Only this time, instead of just a disgustingly bad joke, it's basically the whole plot. Yeah, Video Me more or less put it best. But alright, let's see. Is she though? She's got one good voice, but not much range. No, well, it's not a problem with Cree Summers. It's just not the right casting for a 13-year-old blonde girl with a broken leg, with a very aloof tone, more or less. Like, I don't know. Cree Summers is just, the casting is just a little too distracting, to say the least. Like with Phil Lamar as Samurai Jack, like, yeah, you want this brooding badass with a very masculine voice, know what I mean? And you know what? He nails it regardless of what tone his ethnicity might give him. Like, he's just got the range. Lana has a crash out when Lola has the reason? Yeah, plain and simple. Lana could have gotten everyone food poisoning or ended up putting them in the emergency room with her decision. Yeah, what's the best case scenario? She probably just would have grossed out the guests to the point where they want to leave. And yeah, that probably would have been that probably would have made Lana cry as well. Imagine the guests leaving your 7th birthday party. Like, as a kid, if that happened to me, I probably would have cried. Like, that would have made me really sad. Have the party not be about trash, but something a bit more feasible. Like, yeah, maybe an animal-themed party, and she gets all these zoo animals, and then hijinks ensue. Like, you could have kept the premise the same, and it would have been a little more. You would actually give me sympathy for Lana, plain and simple. Lana and Lola, yeah, they didn't compromise though. Lola just caved in, and the solution was just giving Lana what she wants. And they treat it like it's a good thing. Alright, yeah, easy dog water. Would I say my least favorite of Season 5? Maybe, to be honest. Maybe. That would start anyone's villain arc? Exactly. Like, yeah, Lola was just doing her a favor, salvaging her from all this stupidity. Like, it's a birthday party, not a literal dumpster. Like, God. Like, there's a fine line between humoring a child's antics and just pretending that they're a good thing, man. Like, if this society would lean more towards the former, then yeah, we'd definitely be better off. I can already imagine a fanfiction where Lana's completely guilt-ridden when all of her friends or family are in the hospital because of the unsanitary environment at her party. Or really, Lana's habits in general. Like, you know what would make for a good episode? Lana getting hospitalized because she's way too gross for her own good. But of course, knowing these writers, the way it would end, it would be, oh, Lana, we need you to get dirty for once. And then she caves in and she doesn't learn anything. Like, like, y'all remember that one Casagrandes episode where Hector was the grandpa was a little too addicted to gossiping. The family gets him to stop, but then it turns out they need him to gossip at the end of the episode, and then he just goes back to his old ways. With no lesson learned. Like, that kind of idea, I don't know what the proper term for it is, but I hate it. I hate it. I don't know what that trope is called, but I hate it. But alright. Band together. First time, I think this is the first time the Moon Goats are established as a band. Luna and the band are just minding their own business. Then they see like this really classy looking band manager or whatever. They try to leave an impression on her. They succeed, but it turns out she only wants Luna to fill in as an understudy for one of the bands she manages. Then Luna realizes it, and then Luna takes up the opportunity. She leaves her band, but she tries to justify it by saying, hey, if you guys had this opportunity like I do, I would let you have it as well. And then Luna, status quo is good. Yeah, okay, you know what, Oscar, that's a really good way of putting it. Like, band to get, like, that's the thing. Luna leaves her band, she tries to justify it. She realizes that she doesn't have a lot of fun with this band like she did with her old one. She starts missing it, and then she surrenders the opportunity, and by the end of the episode, her band already replaced her. And then at the end of the episode, the replacement decides to bail. Like, I don't know. Every time it tries to present a resolution for the episode, it just feels really contrived. Like, Luna's behavior is kind of dickish. Her band's behavior is kind of dickish. It's hardly been more than a day, and you already replaced her? Like, girl, your band can wait a day or two for a gig. Like, what? Like, seriously? Like, I don't know. Everyone just comes off as a jerk in this episode. Like, I would appreciate the message a little more because it's a good message, but the execution, the premise, the plot as a whole is just too inconsistent and too contrived. Like, when Luna's hanging out with the new band, like, why did she think to not behave a little more professionally? Like, she felt like pulling pranks on them. She felt like not taking her job too seriously. Like, girl. Like, I get that she's 16, and we know how rambunctious she is, but I think Luna's the kind of girl who'd be capable of reading the room, more or less. I don't know. It's just a classic case of betraying character for the sake of cartoon shenanigans or whatever. Like, yeah, Oscar, I want to say, I'm going to say low yikes or high dog water. What do you guys think? If Sam and Luna, honestly, this will be the best chance for them to have broken up, but nope, they got an agenda to fulfill. Phil Lamar might not be the best example. Man is scummy. He openly stated that white VA shouldn't voice non-white characters, but it's okay. Okay, I take it back. Fuck Phil Lamar. Oh, sure. He can voice the Russian guy in Jimmy Neutron. Okay, was Bobby Russian? Don't quote me on that. He can voice the foreign guy in Jimmy Neutron. He can voice he can voice Samurai Jack. He can voice all these white people. But when it's the other way around, nah, suddenly, yeah, no. Okay, eat shit, Phil Lamar. The episode does retcon Rhodey to nowhere, does it? That is true. Chunk has his own band. He's got his own gigs. He's got his own business. Why would he... Like, yeah, sure, he works as a roadie. He works as a part-time roadie for Luna, but he has his own band. Why would he be the go-to replacement? Okay, that is okay. He definitely loses points for that. Like, the only thing I can appreciate about this episode is just the messaging, but other than that, the rest of the episode is too cluttered and too inconsistent. So yeah, I think I want to give it dog water. Sam and Luna is the show's golden child. Well, more like the golden turd. More like a polished turd, if you ask me. The show is too scared to show a real breakup to me. I would agree, Pixel, but they broke up, from what I heard, they broke up Lenny and Gavin off screen. After only 2 episodes worth of interactions. Not even that much. The episode where they met, and Force of Habits, which didn't primarily revolve around Lenny and Gavin. And then 2 seasons later, they break up off screen. Freaking hypocrites, honestly. But alright. Like, yeah, it's one of those instances where they disregarded their own canon. They disregarded any semblance of goodwill in the ideas behind the characters. I don't know how better to explain it, but hopefully I got it across well enough. But alright. Saved by the spell. Yeah, his name is River or whatever. Like, I don't know. I saw a couple artists on Twitter saying, oh my gosh, River has so much more chemistry with Gavin. Well, you didn't give Gavin a chance to try to build real chemistry. Like, dude. And then some big name Loudhouse artist on Twitter was like, oh my gosh, River looks so much like my OC that I ship with Lenny. Of course I like him better. Like, bro, shut up. I forgot his name. It starts with an R. I don't know how to pronounce it. But when I saw those tweets, I was like, bro, you just posted cringe. Like, Gavin had potential, and he definitely came off as a... For whatever it's worth, in some ways, he came off as a compelling love interest. Like, yeah, Miguel is crushing on him, but then Miguel gets Lenny to serve as his wingman. And then it turns out Gavin falls for Lenny instead. And then Gavin, he makes her all this food. He plays this music outside of Lenny's window because he knows she likes the idea. She confessed it. She confessed that to him secretly, or at least in confidence. Like, I don't know. At the very least, they showed that Gavin was a relatively considerate boyfriend, but that's the thing. Like, most of what they did with him is either... It just suffers from completely unrelated ideas. Like, Force of Habits is just a bad episode as a whole. It's not necessarily because of Lenny and Gavin. And then Food Courting doesn't really revolve around Lenny and Gavin's kinship. Or rather, relationship, or whatever, or the relationship in general. It revolves around Lenny not wanting to be near him just for the sake of not hurting Miguel. But... Damn. They just keep... I don't know what they're doing with Lenny and as far as her love life is concerned, but... Jesus, make up your minds already. Gavin from his inception is trash because he only likes Lenny for how nice she looks. I think there's a little more to it than that, but they didn't really give him a chance to prove it, other than just him being attracted to a pretty girl. Like, Force of Habits have nothing, in Force of Habits, their relationship is already established, with little to no background. And then in Food Courting, again, like I said, the plot's not really about Lenny and Gavin, it's more about Lenny and Miguel, with Gavin being the driving force, more or less. Like, they didn't even give Gavin a chance to try. Like, I would say it's almost as bad as Luna and Sam, but then again, Luna and Sam haven't broken up yet. So, in terms of how the writers treat them, I don't know. I'm a little conflicted. Like, Oscar, it's not a problem for people to be attracted to each other just because they're, you know, attractive. Oopsies, I did not mean to put Lori Days there. Alright, Saved by the Spell. Actually, we talked about this last week. How did I forget? Okay, Lincoln wants to perform magic at the talent show. Apparently, all of his friends think magic is cringe, so they try to convince him not to do it. They manipulate him, And then they get caught right before the talent show starts. Lincoln gets sad, he leaves his friends have their own performance, they completely fumble it. And then Lincoln shows up to save them at the last second with magic. Like, we talked about this, like, it's fine for what it is. Like, it has a couple of moments that definitely are very charming, especially that one moment with Meryl getting hypnotized. It has a couple funny moments, it has good writing. I can't think of anything wrong with it, so I kind of want to give it a neat. I don't know, what do you guys think? That's just off the top of my head. I want to give it a neat, maybe a solid. What do you guys think? Gavin didn't get much screen time on like Santa to prove herself to be a exactly, Pixel. I don't know how I couldn't word that. I don't know how I couldn't word it that way, but yeah. Gavin, he didn't really have a lot of screen time. I judged him for whatever screen time he had, and it was passable in some ways. But yeah, Sam has had like, what, 7 different episodes to do something, and she's virtually contributed nothing. Or she's made things worse by derailing Luna's character, like I've said time and again. Saved by the Spell would have been a great reason for Lincoln to end his friendship with his group, since they didn't really support his idea, and they directly manipulated him. I mean, ending the friendship as a whole, I understand why he would be insulted and would leave his friend group to fend for themselves, but ending the friendship as a whole, like, eventually they would talk things out and apologize. And I think this episode in some ways, this episode went about it the right ways. It could have been done a little better, but the episode overall, it has several funny moments. It shows a little bit of character development for his friend group, and especially Stella, with the whole pretending to be a yodeling German boy. Like, if you think about it, think about it for a moment, guys. When they introduced Stella in Be Stella My Heart, Zach said, I heard she speaks 3 languages. And now we got more or less have confirmation that one of those languages is German. Like, I don't know, we got a bit of lore on her. Or at least implied lore on her. And you know what? I'm down for that. Like, it's not a bad episode. So, I want to say neat at best, but what do you guys think? Solid is too much, but weird to think about that the Lincoln Gang episode of the seasons are pretty neat. Yeah. I guess in some ways, this season, they were trying to actually flesh out Lincoln's friend group more or less. Maybe that's part of the reason why most of the season feels underwhelming, because they weren't focusing on the Loud family primarily. Like, how many episodes here in the whole season actually focus on the family as a whole, or the dynamic between 2 of the family members, rather than just one Loud member or Lincoln and his friends? Okay, whole family dynamic, Loud sister, whole family, Lincoln's friends, sister dynamic, one member, Lincoln and his friends. Yeah, not that many, but you know what? Why? The more I think about it, it doesn't matter too much. But alright. Why are they only giving the interesting plots to Lincoln's friend groups? Yeah, it's a little jarring, but I guess after 5 seasons, you can only think of so much in the family dynamic. But that's the thing when you want a show to to go on for this long. 5 seasons in, yeah, I'm not surprised that you ran out of ideas and you're just going in a relatively different direction. Stella is Filipina, so she probably speaks Tagalog or Bisaya. So English, Tagalog, and maybe German? Like, I don't know, I'd say the implications are strong enough, but we've never had a clear confirmation. Only time will tell. If anything, Season 5 really wanted to hinge on the whole Lincoln and company in middle school gimmick. And yeah, I can see why that's a problem. Like, just abandoning the spirit of the show. Like, it's one thing when Lincoln's friends are the focus of the plot, but just make them interact with the Loud family and whatnot. Like, they really could have done this with Stella since Season 3, but for some reason, they're not even doing it now. But alright, guys. Runaway McBride. Clyde, again, another episode where it's more so about Lincoln and his friend group, or more specifically, Clyde and the friend group. Clyde is hanging out with his friends too much, his parents think they're growing apart more or less, so they start improvising all of these activities in the household just so Clyde and his friends will stick around the house. Like turning their living room into a roller skating rink, their backyard into a theater, turning the backyard into a whole outdoor pool, which resulted in the house more or less getting destroyed. Like, I don't know. It's a compelling premise, but can I think of anything wrong with it off the top of my head? You know what? Yeah. The McBrides, they're a little too classy. Like, we've seen how many times they value their antiques and whatnot. Like, they're very classy to the point where they value their furniture and whatnot. Like, if they break a vase, like, Harold is probably gonna faint and whatnot. So, to see them turn their whole backyard into like a swimming pool, it feels like a bit of a stretch. Like, I get that they're doing it out of love for his son, but you'd think their sense of rationality would actually trump that idea, but I guess it makes sense that it didn't. I don't know. What do you guys think? People keep comparing the downward spiral of SpongeBob and the Loud House, but SpongeBob's seasonal rot didn't start as early as this show. Yeah, I guess it's more or less the same. Like with SpongeBob, seasons 1 through 3, more or less peak. Season 4, it has a couple gems, but for the most part, it's relatively eh. Like the episode where Krabs sold the Krusty Krab and it became the Krabby on Monday. The one where SpongeBob gets the fear of the Krabby Patty. That's all season 4, and I still remember it very vividly. It has a couple good episodes, but it definitely misses the mark here. That's definitely where it started to hit the mark consistently. With the Loud House, I guess it started with season 5. Yeah, to this day, Clyde has mentioned Dr. Lopez how many times? And we've never met her. Apparently it's a she. We've never met her. And honestly, I do want to see her eventually. But I guess he was more or less just meant to serve as a running... The character's more or less just meant to serve as a running gag. I don't know. Alright. What do we think about Runaway McBride, guys? I would say meh. I would say like a mid-meh, maybe high. Like, I don't know. I like the premise. The execution isn't too flimsy. You know what? Now that I think about it, by the end of the episode, Clyde is like, Dads, please stop. I know what you're doing. Please, just stop. SpongeBob Season 4 is the perfect 50-50 for me. The first half is perfectly cromulent. Okay, I have never heard that word before in my life. Hold on. Did you misspell it, or is that actually what you tried to say, Erica? Cromulent. I have never heard that word before in my life. Acceptable or adequate? Okay. But the second half is terrible, though even good episodes in that season have terrible sister episodes. Okay. Watch Dr. Lopez be all in Clyde's mind. Imagine if it was just all in his imagination. Nah. Your little Mudkip thing is gone? Wait, what do you mean? Where? Oh. Wait, what? Where'd the Mudkip go? Has it been gone the entire stream, guys? Hold on. Okay, it's been gone since the last time I took a break. Why didn't you guys tell me? Okay, you know what? It's fine, it's fine. Just a minor technical issue. Hold on, guys. Or maybe it's because I'm on the wrong tab. Hold on. No, I was on the right tab. There you go. Okay, it was just overlapping with other stuff. I did not even realize that the Mudkip and the chat have been gone from the screen since... You know what, as far as YouTube is concerned, there's always chat replay, but still though, I like having the chat in the layout. Yeah, it disappeared since I took that bathroom break, like what, 20 minutes ago? Speaking of which, what time is it? It's 4:30. Okay. We got about a half hour left to finish the list. As much as I love to read another chapter of Companionship, guys, it's probably gonna wait until tomorrow. Just because, like I said, guys, at around 5:30, I gotta head out. 5:20, actually. I'd rather be punctual about it and end the stream at around 5:10. Have you heard of Rock, Paper, Scissors on Nick? Yeah, nothing good, but nothing bad either. I've heard nothing good, but nothing about it either, Citizen. I feel like Season 5 is comparable to SpongeBob Season 7, where it has boring pacing, but I like them better than their predecessors. I guess. I can't really give a informed opinion about it, to be honest. But alright. Silence of the Luanns, easy dog water. Y'all already know how I feel about all the April Fool's episodes. Like, outside of them, Luann is a charming prankster. She makes puns, she's playful, but she still has a sense of character. In these episodes, though, just because it's April Fool, suddenly she's this callous psychopath, more or less. Completely out of character for her, and then this time, it's the same premise, except this time it's Lily instead of, and she's trying to help. Like, you're going for the whole, what do you call this trope, where you let the bad guy out of jail to deal with an even bigger bad guy? Like, nah, it doesn't work here. Like, Luann never worked well as a bad guy to begin with, and to make Lily, of all people, serve as the antagonist here, I dislike it even more. Like, Lily is the sweet baby of the Loud family. Like, why would you do this? Why would you do this to her? Like, why would you even consider this with any of the Loud sisters? Easy dog water. Would I say my least favorite of the season? Probably. But alright. It's 7:29. Well, for here, it's 4:29, 4:30. But alright. I kind of like Silence of the Luanns, but it's okay in my book. I completely dislike all the April Fool's episodes. Like, canonically, it's okay. Never mind the fact that even if I didn't have my problems with it, it's still a blemish in the Loud House's already inconsistent timeline. It's only been about 2 years in the whole show's runtime, canonically, and we got like 4 April Fool specials. Like, that already doesn't make any sense. Fool's Paradise? Retro, again, I don't like any of the April Fool's episodes. The first one, it's not too problematic, but it still makes Luann seem like a jerk. Although at the time, she didn't really have an established character for me to actually believe that she was anything better than that. That's the only reason it gets a pass in my book, but after that, nah. Just no. Like, in the end, Lily gets caught. Luann is like, wow, Lily, you did all this just so I would come out of retirement? Okay, I'm a prankster again. Like, no, fuck off. Like, yeah, choosing Lily to do this, it felt like they were just doing it for the shock value and not because it would actually make sense in any capacity. Even for a 2-year-old, Lily still has a lot of personality, which says a lot for a baby. Like, I can think of a lot of cartoons that really can't pull this off. But anyways, I digress. Easy dog water. Alright. Flying Solo. Lincoln and Clyde? They join the Glee Club, and Lincoln is chosen as the lead singer because he has a really good voice, to the dismay of Clyde, and Clyde gets kind of jealous to the point where he tries to sabotage him. Then he feels bad about it. Like, I don't know. Like I've said before, I kind of like it when Lincoln and Clyde are kind of at odds with each other, but then this episode does do it better than in some other instances, but it's still a little flimsy. Like, Clyde's jealousy, it just comes off as a little dickish. Like, we all know Clyde is very mindful of Lincoln's feelings for the most part, and vice versa. And seeing him get jealous over something like this, it feels a little contrived. Like, his reason for wanting to be the lead singer is because, oh, my aunts are visiting from this country or whatever, I gotta have the lead role. Then it turns out he can't do it, Lincoln can, he sabotages Lincoln, he makes him lose his voice, he apologizes, he conveniently heals him, and then by the end of the episode, they sing together. Like, I don't know. In my book, Flying Solo, like, I don't know, Clyde just comes off as too dickish for me to enjoy it. Like, it has a couple funny moments, like the whole, like when Clyde brings a boombox into the cafeteria, and then like, he says, Lincoln, why don't we practice with this boombox? And then Stella's like, why? For fun, Stella? Like, I don't know, the delivery on that line, it really made me laugh. Like, I don't know, it had a couple funny moments, but at the same time, Clyde just comes off as a jerk, which is the last thing I would expect out of him, especially when it comes to his relationship with Lincoln. Like, when he's at odds with him or competing with him, it makes sense, but nah. I would give this a yikes or a low dog water. Like, at the very least, the music is memorable. It has a couple funny moments, but Clyde's behavior is just way too out of character, so I'm gonna give it a low yikes. Her pulling off the pranks is just because nobody would expect her, but I would have thought that the show would be a bit more afraid of the pranks than endeared by them. Yeah, it makes it... Like, the Louds, they are legitimately terrified of Luann's pranking tendencies. Like, when they finally capture her for April Fools, like, they lock her up in this glass prison, they put, like, a mouth cover on her, like, they seem cartoonishly terrified of Luann's tendencies. Every time. They never see it like something fun, something innocent and fun. Like, no, they just paint it as this literal horror show, more or less, from a sadistic psychopath. I don't know. I can see why it seems they're trying to pass it off as exaggerative, but it really doesn't come off that way. Like, the execution just falters. These characters learn their lesson by the end of the episode, and 2 episodes later, the character is back to doing said thing. Yeah. It's what happens when a show goes on for this long, for this many seasons. You just are trying so hard to come up with ideas that you forget about what's already established. And that's a very glaring problem with the Loud House, as I've said time and again. Or really any show that goes on for too long. At least when the characters are this human, for lack of a better term. Know what I mean? Lincoln's singing voice sounds auto-tuned to me. You know, I have to wonder. I don't know who his voice actor was at the time, but I have to wonder if they actually auto-tuned his voice there. Like, I don't know. Don't forget the last episode, Fool Me Twice. The UN listed, yeah. Fool Me Twice is, ugh. Like I said, all of the April Fool's episodes are really bad. Like, Fool Me Twice is no exception. Paying off the body doubles and ruining their lives, and then, by the end, nothing happens. Luann goes unpunished, and again, Clyde goes unpunished here in Flying Solo. He still gets what he wants, he's just a disaster, man. Yeah. Like, I am legitimately this close to putting it in dog water. But alright. How the best was won. Okay. The school is hosting like some sort of awards, like best friend duo, best hair or whatever, and Lincoln and Clyde want to win in the best friends category. But then out of nowhere, Rusty and Zach, they want to win that. They want to try for that award as well, and they're trying to pass themselves off as best friends, which I did not buy for a second. We have seen Rusty and Zach, along with the rest of the friend group together, how many times? And all of a sudden they decided, oh hey, we're best friends by the way. Like, no. Like, Lincoln and Clyde acknowledge it, but the narrative likes to pretend that they really were best friends. Like, it's just, nah. I'm not buying it for a second, but even if I humor it, they start competing with each other, they start resenting each other, and then by the end they realize, you know what, we took things too far. Neither of us should win this, and they don't. Which I can appreciate. And then by the end of the episode, there's also a category for best friend group, and it goes to the Action News team. And okay, sure. Nobody really had to be punished here. But at the same time, the premise feels really forced. Just the idea of, oh, Rusty and Zach, they were always best friends. You just never got to see it on camera. They've had who knows how much screen time, but it's Luna and Sam all over again. Out of nowhere, Luna has this friend that she has a crush on, they're dating now, and apparently they're the best couple in the show in the eyes of these writers, and too many of the fans. But anyways. In Fool's Paradise, Lana is pranked by falling into a pit of pies, which she is allergic to. Yeah, that was a big no-no if you ask me. Like, that is just procking allergies? Not to be too realistic with this show, I'll be as realistic as I need to be. That is a horrible move. Like, Lana could get hurt, Lana could get sick, Lana could straight up die from being exposed to something she's allergic to, especially that consistently. Like, even just, like, if her face was covered in, like, if her face and her clothing were just covered in pie stains, that would have worked just as well without any problems. But no, she just had to be allergic to the pie. Anyways. How the Best Was Won has so many gay... Okay, Oscar, you're pushing it, man. Between Rusty and Zach, like, nah. I don't get that vibe whatsoever. like, ironically, I just compared it to Luna and Sam. That also feels ridiculously forced. But it's not. Like, guys, there is a fine line between best friends and a genuine romantic relationship. And once again, just like with Luna and Sam... Wait. Did I accidentally switch tabs? No. Okay, I'm looking at the playback. Never mind. Like, yeah, they have a bit of a dynamic, but at the same time, passing them off as best friends and barely showing their chemistry when it's time for a competition, like, I don't know, that just feels really forced. But other than that, though, the episode was it was entertaining, more or less. So... And like I said, the resolution doesn't bother me too much. It doesn't feel like anybody had to be punished here, so... I'm gonna give it maybe a high meh or a low neat. What do you guys think? But alright. Undercover Mom. How did this go down again? Rita wants to reconnect with all of the high school Loud sisters, Luna, Lenny, and Luann. Especially, and considering the fact that Lori's off at college, yeah, it makes sense. So then, she proposes this column for the newspaper she works at now, where she goes undercover at a high school, as a high schooler, just to get a chance to reconnect with her daughters, and hopefully get a good story out of it. And then she starts getting along too well, her cover is blown, she publishes the piece, and then her sisters read that newspaper, that column, and then they're like, "Aw, Mom, I'm sorry." Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. It felt okay. This episode is meant to me. It feels like something from Season 4, which is okay. You need to go? Alright, Power Pokemon. Thank you for sticking around. Go look at your stream and Lore Day. Yeah, okay, we'll get to Lore Days, but it's definitely a good episode. I don't know how I feel about this episode, and to be honest, I don't remember much about it. Like, yeah, Rita goes undercover. She actually gets along with all of her daughters while disguised as someone else. They invite her over to her house. She has to play pretend. Her cover gets blown. The daughters get mad at her, and then she publishes her column anyways. Her daughters read the column, and they're like, "Aw, so our mom did all this just because she wanted to connect with us, because she wanted to spend time with us?" Like, I don't know. It's heartfelt in a couple of right ways, but at the same time, it's not a very memorable episode, to say the least. Other than just the premise and the plot. Like, I remember the basics of the plot, but other than that, nothing too crazy, so I'm just gonna give it a meh and leave it at that. Yeah, also another Lenny crush that went pretty much nowhere. Just more or less kind of like Gavin. Like, Gavin had some episodes, but even then, before he got the chance to do anything, for the most part, he didn't get a chance to do anything noteworthy, and by the time he could, they're already broken up. Anyways, Director's Rut. A Luann episode, and not about her pranking, thank God. What time is it, by the way? 4:42. Okay, I gotta wrap this up soon. I guess I may as well close this tab. Alright, Luann gets chosen. Luann's screenplay gets chosen as the winner of a contest for a play that will actually go into full production. And then for some reason, all of her theater group, except for Benny, starts trying to insist on making all these changes to her play. So then she adopts something of a strict persona through Mr. Coconuts just to keep them all in check. And then by the time of the show, when it's showtime, all of her classmates, except for Benny, quit on her because she's just way too strict. And then for some reason, she's the one that has to apologize? Like, I don't know. That just didn't make any sense to me. Like, for some reason, some of the students want to turn it into a musical. Some of them want to change the lines in the script, add a bunch of characters that make no sense. So I completely sympathize with why Luann was being so fed up and why Benny was actually... and Benny was too, more or less, in some ways. He's the only one that didn't quit on her. He's the only one to put up with all the Mr. Coconuts. Like, he was just being a supportive boyfriend the entire process, and he had good reason to. So I don't know. Luann and Benny's behavior, it's in character, except until the end, where Luann just... The narrative just makes it so that Luann is the one that's apologizing, rather than the theater troupe. Like, of course she's gonna be strict about it, like, it's her play, it's her passion, it's her work, and here is everyone making all these changes to the point where it doesn't feel the same. Like, yeah, I've been there. Like, I don't know. Luann's character behavior in the episode, for the most part, it's fine. But for her theater troupe, for whatever little character they have, like, this felt out of character. So, I'm gonna give it a low mat. Like, I like the fact that Luann and Benny's dynamic and relationship was more or less not tampered with. It was more or less left intact, and I mean that in a good way. But the rest of the theater troupe, yikes. I don't know. What do you guys think? I got sick of Mr. Coconuts for a while. Really? Feels like in the later seasons they don't use him often enough. That's just me though. They do it because Luann uses Mr. Coconuts? I mean, she always uses Mr. Coconuts, presumably. Or every now and again. Like, they're intimidated. The reason they quit is because they're intimidated by a puppet, not because of the person controlling it. Like, I don't know. How am I supposed to interpret that? Yeah, the only thing that really bothers me is the ending. Like, okay, the troupe's outlandish behavior of making all these changes. Like, okay, you need to get the plot across. It's not too bad of a way to get the plot across, but making Luann being the one to apologize initially, that's my only problem. I'm glad that the troupe apologized as well, but they should have apologized first. I don't know how they would have gone at it with the way things went down, but like, I don't know, it's a little flimsy. Like, that's really my only problem with it, the ending. That's it. And also, you know what? Losing a couple points because, honestly, Luann's theater troupe is really forgettable. Like, I straight up can't remember any of their names for the life of me, and there's like, what, 4 or 5 of them? Other than Benny? Anyways. Appetite for Destruction. Lily is suddenly being really cranky. Her mom and dad are trying to find out why. They set her up on play dates to see. They send Lenny undercover at her preschool to see if someone's being a bad influence on her. They set her up on play dates to see if Lily is the problem. And then it turns out Lily is just being cranky because she's literally constipated. Because at the beginning of the episode, we see that Lynn Sr. is using too much Parmesan in pretty much all of his dishes because he has a pen pal that sent him a crap ton of it. And apparently that's screwing with her digestion, and you know what? For a baby, I can kind of excuse the idea of her being cranky because of... Why'd the music stop? Yes, I'm still watching. Dog water? I don't know. Like, Lily's behavior, it feels a little out of character, but at the very least, there's something of an explanation for it. Like, it's not too problematic by any means, but at the same time... Okay, I will say one thing. One thing that does bother me is... just the writers' idea of a grown-up Lily. Like, apparently with this whole... You know what? Let me just show you guys and see. Hopefully Google delivers. Nope, that's not it. Where is it? This. Grown-up Lily. Like, basically, Lynn and Rita are having these nightmares about how Lily's gonna grow up, and honestly, I really hate this design. I really do. What is with this hair? What is with this head shape? Like, oh, it's just so... Woo! I hate it. Like, I have seen so much fan art of grown-up Lily that's so much better in so many ways. This is not canon, by the way. This is a fan animation of a grown-up Lily that looks so much better than what they're actually doing in canon, and they're more or less embracing it. Because in Season 9, we see this exact design of grown-up Lily again, and I hate it. Like, the half-shaved head. Really? My only problem with it is the shape of the head and the fact that half of her hair is shaved. Like, it is such an ugly design. I hate it. And the fact that it's official just bothers me even more. That's really my only big complaint with the episode. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Some people are saying dog water, but let's see. Let me read chat before I say anything. This episode had 2 funny jokes where Lynn and Rita want Lily to be good, and I don't consider her older siblings to be good enough positive influences on her. Okay, yeah, that is one thing. Like, Lynn and Rita are saying, what's wrong with Lily? She's supposed to be the sweet one of the family. And then all of the siblings get offended. We heard that. We heard that. Wow, so rude. Like, are they wrong? Lily is the sweetest one of the family. Like, it's not even a contest. Like, they acknowledged that, but a couple episodes ago, you were like, wow, Lily's the new prankster of the family? Wow, Lily is evil? You see why it bothers me? Like in Silence of the Lambs, turns out Lily is the prankster. It turns out she's secretly evil. Like, if anyone's a bad influence on Lily, it's probably Luann, by the looks of it. But I guess we forgot about that idea. And I really wish... You know what? Maybe it's for the best. Like, I don't know. It has a couple funny moments, but at the same time, a lot of it, a couple things don't make any sense. Like, the resolution, I can understand. Turns out, Lily's constipated because of the cheese. That's it. And then by the end of the episode, once she feels better, she's back to her old ways. And I mean that in a good way, but it just has a lot of things dragging it down. So, I want to say a high yikes. Like, I don't know, Oscar, what do you got to say about it? Because you've been telling me dog water, dog water. If the ending of Silence of the Luanns was Luann telling Lily why his pranking is bad, and it makes her stop, it will be a good episode? Yeah. But we all know how the show runs. You can't just just not gonna... They refuse to abandon any aspect of a character, no matter how problematic it is, either in the narrative or just in respect to their character. That's why Sam and Luna haven't broken up. That's why we still have so many April Fool's episodes. Is it giving Tumblr vibes? A little bit. Kinda guilty pleasure for me. I like the future Lily scenes. Okay, the context of the scenes, that's its own thing. And I'm indifferent towards it, but the design, future Lily design, I hate it. I really hate it. Luann did act more so of a people pleaser than being a somewhat strict-like director. Oh, we're talking about director's rut. Yeah, a little bit, but to be fair, it's not like Luann has ever been pushed to that kind of limit most of the time. I guess when she was cooking with, learning to cook with her dad, that's the one time, but even then, I don't know. I don't know if it's enough evidence for me to buy that she would fall into to understand why she would behave the way she did. Lenny is really dumbed down to actually want to go to pre-K and all because of to a trampoline. Yeah. The season is barely over and we're already abandoning Lenny's character growth from school, from whatever that was worth. Like, Lenny decides she wants to go back to ordinary school. Lily wants to actually start preschool for a change. And then Lenny's back in preschool. A couple episodes later. Like, I don't know. Do I want to say... Wait, where did I leave it? I left it at yikes. You know what? I'd say that's good enough. Couple inconsistencies, but I wouldn't say it's a bad episode by any means. And for the most part, it's not a bad episode. Like, the premise and the resolution makes sense, but there's a lot... like I said, a lot is really dragging it down. I can excuse Lily being cranky for being constipated because I have multiple nieces and nephews. Yeah. With younger kids, I guess there's like a little kid being a pain in the ass for whatever reason. That's its own thing. But when they actually have a reason, that's even better. That's more justifiable. All right. No bus. Okay, you know what? Let's rate High Crimes. Like I said, it's a very forgettable episode, so I'm just gonna give it a meh. Like, it made me laugh once with the whole helium gag, but that's about it. That's about all I can remember about it, to be honest. Alright. No bus, no fuss. Wait, didn't we talk about this last week? I think we did. So, Lincoln can't sit on the bus seat next to Clyde, or next to anyone in his friend group for whatever reason. Goes to another seat, it belongs to a group of 8th graders. they threaten him, and then they beat them up. So Lincoln and his friends decide to start carpooling with their parents instead of going on the bus. But then, for really forced reasons, it all goes wrong. Like Clyde's dad's overprotective. Stella's parents, we never see them, and they can't help anyways, because her mom has to work, her parents have to work. Liam's grandma, for some reason, she's transporting them on a tractor or whatever. Like basically on the back of a pickup truck, essentially. And how else did it go wrong? Zach's parents, well, we know they're paranoid conspiracy theorists. And then for some reason, you think things would have turned out fine with Rita and Vanzilla, but for some reason, Rita got into some forced-ass beef with Bull Hoffner. Like, I don't know. It would have been really, the idea of the carpool idea failing, it just feels really forced. Then Lincoln and the kids try to take the bus, then that also goes wrong, and then they realize, we talked about this last week. Why did the bus driver not report the bullies to the principal or whatever? Why was he just being just as vulnerable? The resolution just makes no sense. At the end of the day, Lincoln and his friends go back to the bus. Then all of the kids on the bus stand up to the bullies because the bullies were picking on the other kids while Lincoln and his friends are away. And then by the end of the episode, they decide we should all stand up to the bullies. Why did you need Lincoln and his friends to come back for you to actually take a stand like this? Why did the bus driver not report the bullies? Why did the bus driver not stand up to them himself? Nah. It's just... We met Stella's mom once, but we've canonically never seen her dad. That kind of bothers me, by the way, but that's a minor nitpick. Yeah, I'm gonna place this in Yikes, because a lot of it just doesn't make any sense. For my YouTube videos, having comments allowed will push my videos more for the algorithm, but I understand why it got locked, because there is a lot of people with bad takes or arguments. Yep. I was hoping that by pausing comments, people would see that whatever they're trying to say has already been said. I already gave my takes on it, we already talked things out, and I don't know, man, YouTube comment section, especially when it comes to sensitive subjects such as gay relationships in animation. Let me put it this way, the public just doesn't know how to behave. Maybe you know what, it's been 2 months, maybe it's about time I enable comments again, but we'll see. Lily should have gotten a bit of discipline because, yeah, that is true. In Appetite for Destruction, Lily should have been disciplined a little more. I'm glad there's a reason for her crankiness, but at the same time, her parents were not being assertive whatsoever. Yeah, ultimately, maybe her behavior is not as her fault, but at the same time, being cranky is one thing, but wrecking the kitchen, biting your parents, biting your siblings, fighting with your siblings, yeah, that would get you in trouble anyways. Even if there's more or less a mental reason for it. But alright, 2 more episodes to go, guys, and yeah, it is 4:57. I gotta head out soon, so I'll try to make this quick. Fright Bite. Let's see. I straight up don't remember anything about this episode, guys. I'm not even sure what episode we're talking about. Is this the one where Lucy and friends try to go to a casket convention? Or something like that? Or am I thinking of another one? Nope, this is a completely different one. Yeah, the fact that I can't even recognize it, what does that tell you? When a vampire moves into Royal Woods, Lucy must convince him and turn the Mortician. Okay, I straight up don't remember anything about this episode, guys, and I'm pretty sure I've seen it. So, forgettable, boring, and I straight up don't remember anything about it. So, would you guys hold it against me if I put it in dog water? Kinda. A little bit, I would say. I don't know. What do you guys think? Fright Bite is so boring. The only good thing about the episode is that they use a Nightcore on the background. Did they? Huh. But alright. Let's see. I don't know. If you guys had something to say about it, I'm more than happy to hear it, but try to make it quick, because I gotta head out in 10 minutes or so. Alright, Lori Days. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, let me put it this way. Things got pushed a little ahead of schedule, so I gotta wrap things up here and now. We'll talk about Lori Days. Do I stream tomorrow? We'll see how things go tomorrow, but I definitely do want to try to stream tomorrow. If not, then I'll be back next Saturday as usual. So, but I gotta wrap it up, guys. So, okay, I will say this though. Lori Days, easy solid, and then we'll save the image. But as far as talking about it is concerned, it's gonna have to wait until tomorrow. It's gonna have to wait until next time, guys. So that's gonna be it for the stream. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. As always, if your heart so desires, hit that like button and follow me on Twitter for updates. Or really? Okay, force of habit. Follow me on Twitter for updates, but most of the time I'll keep you guys updated on the community posts and whatnot. So with that being said, once again, I'm Siba signing out. Take care, guys. Bye.